Hello, hello. Hey, Pressel. You've done it. You've gotten first. I slept very poorly last night. I woke up at like 4 in the morning and then couldn't get back to sleep until like 5:15. And this probably doesn't matter too much to share, except for that if my brain seems off today, it's probably because of that. You already know what's going to happen very shortly. I did it, John. What did you do? Oh, just getting first? I figured you're going to go to the gym. Hey, Bloldy. Welcome in. Hair tells me the same story. Yeah. I would normally shower in the morning. Actually, I've been starting to work out in the morning too, so I would shower after working out. But this time I'm like, yeah, I'll just start streaming. Yes to both gym and first. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, one of the things I was thinking about yesterday, because I spent some more time trying to come up with a design. Where is it? Yeah, all of this stuff. I basically decided that I kind of want it to work the same way that it's been working. I do wonder if time is serving a purpose for this, timers. Let me see. Yeah, there's still time. If so, why? How do you get keys, etc. And I've got kind of a working model here. I also came up with an item duplicator idea, which I think would be kind of cool. It could be used mostly for treasure. Maybe it is just a treasure duplicator. Maybe this is just a treasure duplicator so that you can keep pumping out items for your favorite adventure. I guess you'd only end up using it for that or for making money. And if money is normalized, and if the output speed is normalized based on item value, then people would probably use it for guild supplies. Interesting. You work out and shower. What time do you wake up to be live at the latest 8:30? I wake up at 7 most days. I don't do like a very long workout or anything in the morning. Because the other thing I wanted to try is just to see, do I even like doing it this way? But yeah, I think I do like doing it this way. And yeah, today just I've been thrown off. Also, getting to be live is just like shower. And that's it. I set a couple of titles on, YouTube and Twitch. So it's pretty much just press a button. I was reading online about like what do other streamers do to prepare sometimes, and they take a long time, or they'll start an intro screen and then like have their breakfast as the intro screen is growing. My intro screen is just to like make sure everyone can see the stream. Fatigues your productivity for this today. You find that? Okay, because I haven't done it for long enough yet to be able to tell. And to be honest, since I started, I feel like I've been more tired during the day, but that I think could just be a coincidence. So I want to do this for longer and figure out how I feel. And if I come to the same conclusion, then I need to figure out what's more important, I guess. Is it like working out while I'm fresh, or is it doing work while I'm fresh? Hey, Phil. I train very intensely. I'm sure a small cardio session or something probably doesn't matter. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, so one of the things I kind of decided yesterday, which I think is maybe good, is this idea. Is this a different font? No, it's not. I think the interesting thing about chests could be handling the loot from them all. We have up to 8 treasure stands, and most chests take like 1 to 3 keys in total, but they each give 2 to 3 items, and you don't want to take up your workers' time for all of them. Keys could still be obtained from a weapon grinder, but be cheap. I should put this in the what I'm leaning toward thing. Probably better because you don't have much mental clarity to do it, unlike vice versa. Yeah, but I think it's harder to motivate myself. And also, there are a lot of little things about working out at night. For one, I mean, this is true for anything, but if you save it for the end of the day, then there's a possibility you don't do it. Whereas if you get it done at the beginning of the day all the time, then you couldn't have started your day unless you did it. That's one thing. The other thing is, yeah, sometimes I'm kind of lacking energy for the workout, which I've noticed happens. Anyway, like I said, I'll try to figure it out, but I feel like there are a lot of variables here But yeah, it was bizarre working out in the morning and actually seeing the sun come up as opposed to go down. All right, yeah, sure. Sounds good. All right, change keys so that they all just decrease the time on chests. Start chests with more loot in them. So you still get something. Auto grant chests. Change key acquisition somehow. Simple ways lower the cost by a ton. Increase the number of treasure stands. And require only a few, only like 1 to 3 keys per chest. You know, I was thinking about it. Keys could have a critical open where they apply like 2x or 3x the time to the chest. But it's probably more exciting to just find a different key. Actually, this is a sort of interesting way to differentiate the keys without you wanting to bring them to different chests. There could just be a random chance that any key increases the loot in the chest. I like the idea of using these graphics that we have though for keys. We only ended up using these 5. And I never had an idea for the golden one, which doesn't really matter. But I like that we were at least using 5 of them, especially the skeleton key. I think it's very fitting in this game, and it was exciting when you would see a skeleton key. So I'd like to still have some reason to have different keys. And I think they could just be different amounts of time that they'll apply to the chest. But yeah, I still need to think about this a little bit more too. But yeah, what I'm leaning toward is just some small changes. This wouldn't be too hard to just test out and see how it feels. Yeah. I think people to find a chest from battle if your treasure stands aren't already full would be great. Increase the number of treasure stands. Require only 1 to 3 keys per chest. Okay, you know what? Let's go test some of this out. We might as well. How do we add more treasure stands though? I think we just go to the treasure room and just make... No, we don't. That's not how we do this. How do we do this? Oh, there's a skill. Treasure stands or something. Treasure display. Yeah, here it is. And we have number of displays 2, 3, 4. Okay, I wonder if we should try like 4, 6, 8. I don't know how this is going to work. Like, where will it put them? I think it's all just in a line. Add treasure chest display. Position equals display positions. We just manually set what they all are. Okay, so I need to set another 4 of these. Euclid, hey Flare. You could hold down a button to keep adding keys to chests and have those graphics pop up. Well, the hold down a button implies that you're the one doing it. There's got to be a way for your workers to do it, and it's probably mostly going to be your workers doing it. So it's got to be something that happens automatically. 1 day closer to release. I guess every game in the world is either 1 day closer to release or getting cut off. I think we're 1 day closer to release, yes. All right, so if we just do this and we just change the 38s here to be, how much are we doing on the x-axis? Plus 42. Okay, so let's also add 42. I don't know if this will look good, but it's not hard to just type that out. It's not going to look good in the world because we don't have enough space. You had more than 1 day of scope. Well, but then that 1 day of scope probably would have happened no matter what, right? So you're still 1 day closer to release. I guess the way I look at it is it's like your project, if you consider there to be fate, your project has a fate and it's going to take X days regardless of what you do. You might think that, let's say X is equal to 1,000. You might think that it's actually 200 at launch. And then, oh, whoops, there's scope creep. I added a couple days, but like the project was going to take 1,000 no matter what. That's how I think about those things. All right, so we make a new game, although maybe that was a bad idea. And then we go up to here, build this thing. And okay, so I have the 4 displays. It's going to add the other 4 down here. So if I zoom out and put this off to the side and then go by, where is it? This. So yeah, we got 2 more and we got even 2 more than that. So yeah, these are inside the warehouse. They're going to overlap for now. We should probably just move everything up a bit. I wanted there to be enough space for you to be able to see. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, well, whatever. I just need to click one of these things. Yeah, I want there to be enough space to see the time and not have it get blocked. But we are just prototyping this. But it looks like we're going to need to move this up by like at least 40 pixels, and we don't have 40 pixels there. So I think we should just move the whole treasure room so that it's a little bit taller maybe. And then move everything up. All right, so here's what we do. Wait, how do we do this? This might not be as easy as I thought. So we want to draw this going, oops, that's the wrong one. It's tile. Yeah, there. So this is up a little bit higher now. So now we can move the treasure spirit and the bulletin board also up a little bit higher. And then try just saving and loading this. Strongly recommend having a fun, enjoyable pre-workout ritual. For me, at least, it tells my brain, okay, it's go time. For me, it's just listening to music I like and drinking my pre-workout drink. So one of the things that's changed over the years is that I used to work out in gyms with like friends who would also go work out there. So for example, when I went to college, there was a college gym and there was no shortage of people who wanted to work out together. And then when I started working, there was like, well, not every place I worked had a work gym, but a couple of them did. And then I was like, oh, okay, you just go with your coworkers and it's like you could work out together. And I think that was what was very motivating for me. It helps kind of pass the time. It adds some sort of latent competition to what you're doing. Hey, Wendy, thank you for the raid. How'd it go today? Anyway, that hasn't happened lately at Pressel. It's been just me working out on my own, and I'd have to like convince someone to work out with me, and I don't want to do that. That's part of it too. And then we laughed. Yes, but we're talking about C# Corpsey. I'll get over here. How you doing? I am doing okay. I just like woke up in the middle of the night and couldn't get back to sleep. So other than that, I think things are fine. One of the things that we've been working on lately has been trying to get the treasure system to feel a little bit better. All right, so I just want to see if this is good. Now we need to move this up. So let's move all of these up by, let's just do -38 and see what that looks like. Hey Ryan, good morning. I like working out solo more, to each their own. Yeah, that's one of the few things that's like I really like doing that, at least with friends. It's not like I want to work out with a random person. Anyway, I'll give some context for this. So this is the treasure room. The way that this works is you get a treasure chest, so you would buy it. Click buy on this. And it's got a timer on it. You're not expected to take 10 minutes doing this. This isn't some mobile game garbage thing. And then you get a key grinder where you will put weapons into here and they'll turn into keys. And then the keys do various things. So this one, for example, says opens a chest 3 minutes sooner and increases the drop quantity. So this is about to give us 1 item. If I put this in, now it'll give us 2 items. And then this will make it open 3 minutes sooner and add an item type. So it's going to be a golem rock shard. Now it's going to be also a witch doctor item. So when I finally open this thing, let's just fake in some keys here and I put these in. When I finally open this, oh, let's put this in too. So now I'm going to get 6 items out of this. These are going to power up my adventurers. This system was made because story mode needed a money sink. So treasure chests cost a lot. The keys that you make are taking up weapons, which you would have been able to sell. And then there are perks here, which also cost a lot. So it was meant to be a money sink. And in order for there to be a money sink, you need a benefit from it. So the benefit you get is adventure power-ups. But then we made this new mode, bone mode, the best mode. And the treasure room doesn't make as much sense here. Here you get your buildings randomly. So like we might be offered the treasure room. And if you're offered it early on, buying a treasure chest for 25 when all I have is 25 gold is not super appealing. And that won't help you get the treasure from it on its own. Now I have to wait 6 minutes. So like I need keys, but I have no money. I want to be selling my weapons, not grinding them up into keys. So I think we need to change this system a bit, and that's what we've been talking about. Hey, Future Millennium. Yeah, welcome in, everybody. And for anyone who's here already, do check out Windy. Windy's been working on Oceanborn. Looks like it's going to be a fun game. It's a combination of Wind Waker. Hang on, what was the other ones? I said a little bit of Etrium. Is that how you spell that? I don't remember how you spell Etrium, honestly. It's all made up anyway. What was it? Something Life. And no, wait, I should be able to. Oh, yeah, Forager. And then Something Life. I don't know what the something is. What is the something? Same game. I don't remember. And is it Etrium? Etrian, excuse me. Etrian Odyssey. I've seen that game. I haven't ever played it. At least if this is what I think this is what Wendy said the other day. This was on the DS, right? Yeah, DS. Etrian Odyssey. What is the gameplay of this game? Yeah, this is what I have in my head for what this game was. The top screen had some view of where you were, and then the bottom screen was like a map and all this complex stuff. Happy rest of your half-awake day. Thank you, Oprestel. I hope you have a good workout. But you're going to because you did your pre-workout ritual. You have to. So what I was thinking here is if we gave you more treasure chest displays and we only had to take, let's say, 1 to 3 keys. I guess technically, if we want chests to only take 1 to 3 keys, that says nothing about how long they should take to open. I think the problem is getting keys. In story mode, it could be 10 minutes or something to force you to get keys. I'm the ritual. In bone mode, it could be like 3 minutes. So the keys are just for speeding it up. Like there's nothing that says a key couldn't be worth 33 minutes of time and that a chest takes 100 minutes. So you put in 3 keys and then wait a minute or something like that. Let's say we said it's 34 minutes. So you put in 3 keys and you're done. But then without keys, it's like you're not going to wait almost 2 hours. That's ridiculous. So at that point, why even have a timer? What is the timer doing? So I feel like the whole point of the timer is that you don't need keys. And if you do feel like waiting, then it's fine. But in bone mode, this doesn't make sense. Timer is still a sticking point here. If you have a timer, then the whole point of it is that you wouldn't need keys. The chest would eventually open on its own. And yeah, you would be speeding it up with keys. If keys are free, then speeding it up isn't very interesting. All right, what are the parameters we have over here? I don't have a scenario running apparently. I guess let's start this and maybe save a run of this. So if I buy a new treasure chest, right now it's got 4 minutes remaining. So it would take maximally 4 keys to open this because they all give at least 1 minute off. But some of them give 3 minutes off. But I feel like we should normalize this somehow. I also feel like the whole timer thing doesn't make a lot of sense. Keys, like it existed so that you could boost how much loot you get. Keep coming back to this. The timer exists in story mode so that you can boost how much loot is in a chest, but have a limit to how many keys you can use. That concept doesn't really exist in bone mode. Man. I had a realization yesterday Or was it? Yeah. That this system was made for story mode and then shoehorned into this new thing. That's what I spent so long yesterday trying to come up with a design. How do we make this work? And then I realized I don't think you just change a couple things to make it work. You probably change some like core assumptions. And I think the reason I'm so torn about all this is we have code already that I don't want to throw away. I want whatever we do for story mode to be similar to bone mode so that there's less for the player to learn. And yet the goals I need to accomplish in the two modes are disparate. So it's really tough because if you go in a direction with mode A, it doesn't necessarily work with mode B. You could just have them be two totally separate things, I guess. You know what? Maybe that's what we should think about. What if we designed this from the ground up for bone mode and then figured out the consistency issue later? I guess that's a problem. From the ground up. From the ground up isn't really true if I want to keep the code I wrote. Hey, Pragan. Welcome in. Happy Tuesday. All right, but still, let's say we just started from scratch. So what are we trying to accomplish? To accomplish for bone mode. I guess it's like have another building you can get and have this be a way to power up adventurers. Is that it? Because if that's it, I feel like we could do this a little bit differently. And I don't even know if this second part's important. We already have the farm and the pond, and those are kind of fine for bone mode. Maybe you just get a sprinkling of treasure somehow. You do waves of monsters attack your city too. What's the thing you're trying to accomplish in that way? Like the waves of monsters to me sounds like a tool for accomplishing something, but not a thing you want to accomplish. So for example, an objective you might have is like give the player more money. And then what you said could be a way to do that. So solution is like have waves of monsters attack the city. Defeating them gives money. But the objective needs to be that we need them to get more money or something. Or I guess what you're saying is that it would be the same objective. Like that would be how you power up your adventures. And get rid of the timer and provide a pressure to shorten runs by failure. I think you're talking about challenge or like bone mode in general. Sorry, when I say what are we trying to accomplish for bone mode, what I mean is with the treasure system. Yeah, sorry, this was not like a general question. This was a specific question about we're redesigning the treasure system. And yeah, because I don't want there to be a failure mode in bone mode. Hey, Kevin. Yeah. Anyway, have another building and yeah, have this be a way to power up adventures. I guess because there's no other thing I really needed here. And in this case, like one of the things we could do, is have treasure chests drop from battle and get brought to the treasure room. And then, but how would you open it exactly? I mean, I guess that's where keys come in. But I think, yeah, one problem I have with chests and keys is that we need to figure out how both are created. In the main mode, although I shouldn't be talking about this because I want to just talk about the new one, but in story mode, you buy chests and grind weapons into keys. in bone mode, grinding weapons into keys was somewhat expensive. We could just make it cheaper. How's it going? Is Tuesday a treasured day yet? Tuesday started out rough. I woke up very early in the morning and then couldn't get back to sleep for a while. My mind is just, it's just stuck on certain things. So like last night, or no, sorry, not last night, the night before, I've been playing, this is so stupid, I shouldn't even be sharing this. I've been playing Downfall, which you told me about, the Slay the Spire expansion, and my dreams were influenced by this, and it was like, man, I have one recurring dream that I just hate. It's a debugging dream. I'm doing just work and I need to find some issue, and I'm just stuck like looking at an editor, going through code and being like, all right, is that the problem? Is that the problem? And I never make any progress. I think it's basically just an anxiety dream. And that's kind of how things felt a couple nights ago. And I'm trying to think like, where is my anxiety coming from? What am I anxious about? And I can't fully identify it. I've got some ideas and I'm kind of trying to work on those, but yeah, last night kind of felt the same way, where I'm just up in the middle of the night. I'm like, why? Why can't I go to sleep? Those are the worst bugs as well. Well, I don't even know if I'm aware of what the bug is in the dream. I'm just like, there is a bug. Well, hey, Sternblade. The just make it cheaper thing was something I was going to suggest as well. Feels like the game should be more rapid fire. Well, to just make it cheaper, to be clear, we're just talking about the treasure system. And yeah, if that's what you're talking about too, I agree. I think there were enough people who said like, it feels like there's a lot you need to invest in this. So yeah, possibly we just end up making it cheaper. The ones you can't debug without putting console logs. I mean, I don't mind debugging when I'm awake. That's fine. Does it feel like you aren't fully asleep too? You used to have dreams like that where I'm doing something repetitive over and over. Maybe sometimes it's hard for me to recollect if that's the case, because it's sort of an in the moment thing. Yeah, dreams are kind of weird that way, right? Like they feel so powerful and real, and then 5 minutes pass and you're like, I don't even remember what I was thinking. So yeah, I don't remember how I felt in the middle of the night. Nerd nightmares. I know, really, it is. It's frustrating. And I don't know how often games impact my dreams. Like I used to play a lot of the Diablo series, Diablo and Diablo 2, and you're slaying demons. It almost never impacted my dreams. But I can't watch horror movies because I just get too scared like in the middle of the night. It's not even really while watching the movie that it affects me that much. It's like, okay, I can do it. I don't like it. But then I dread what I'm going to think later when I wake up in the middle of the night. Yeah, so okay, I want to think about this for a little bit longer. Going back to this. So if all we want is a way to power up adventurers, then giving you a trickle of guild supplies could be fine. They could just drop from regular battles. For bone mode though, if they're dropping from regular battles, then, well, I guess it doesn't matter how they're dropping. But for bone mode though, if you can't influence the loot, then it would essentially just be raising the power and health of all of your adventurers over time. Since on average, you would get each adventurer's item 10% of the time. If that's what we want to generally like raise you all adventurers, then maybe that's what we should steer toward. Like treasure chests always contain X of each item. I'm sure you've heard the Tetris effect. Oh yeah, I've lived the Tetris effect. I've also lived the corollary of that, the Smash effect, where I'm playing like Super Smash Bros. In my head. That one's a little bit different. Also, there's something called, what are they called? Mirror neurons? Yeah. Okay, so I mean, this is the summary right here. Mirror neurons are specialized brain cells that activate both when an individual performs an action and when they observe someone else performing the same action. So I've had this happen so much more frequently when watching people play Smash Bros. And especially with melee, because you have to L cancel in melee. So like anytime someone does an air attack and then hits the ground, I like my finger twitches. It's like, oh, that's a mirror neuron. Anyway, with Tetris, that it's something kind of similar, I guess. Although really, really fast Tetris players are much faster than I am. I'm like moderately good at Tetris. But yeah, not to that level. Had the trippiest dream ever. I knew I was asleep and decided to wake up only to discover I was still asleep. It was a dream within a dream. Did you want to sell your father's company after that, by any chance? Because if so, I think I know a movie you were playing out. Wait, really? When I watch people play, I never try to mirror them play. But do you have this with anything else? Like when I think it's got to usually be some like reaction-based thing for me. But I don't know. Maybe you're watching a TV show and someone's about to like grab a hot pan and they're going to touch it and like burn themselves or something, and you know kind of recoil a little bit in real life even though there's obviously no danger to you. Does that ever happen? Also, hey yourself. It feels like blocks keep falling in your imagining scenarios. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, it's tough sometimes. Feels like humans should just be able to do some really, really basic stuff, right? Like run without pain and sleep without interruption. These just seem like basic human things. And yeah, how many people struggle? Why are we all broken? So I don't know how much I want to change this, but I do want to think along these lines, which is, yeah, what if you just got loot somehow? And we already sort of have this. This is what the free guild supplies perk does. It puts guild supplies into the warehouse without you being able to pick what they are. I think that the treasure room, the way I was designing it, would essentially be positioned as filling your workers' time by moving keys, moving chests, and moving the loot itself. I don't know how interesting that is. I wonder if simplifying it to a couple of clicks or having it be an on-demand thing, like the garbage slime, is better. I do dodge IRL and I play FPS games. I haven't tried mirroring someone else's inputs, but it's food for thought. It's not necessarily their inputs, I guess. I think the dodging left and right is probably pretty similar. I don't know if it's necessarily mirror neurons, because I think a lot of people who are new to video games completely, who are playing a racing game or something, are going to lean as they steer on the controller, just thinking like, oh, this is the way I want to go, so this is what I want to do. And now motion controls let you actually steer with a controller, so people can enact what they thought was possible originally or wanted to be possible. Okay, I guess something we could change is have treasure automatically go to the guild. That would make the treasure system unique in that regard. It would also make it take up much less time. It would also make it so that you would want to auto open chests. Why is running so painful? Maybe we're doing it wrong. And I think about this every once in a while, that like if we didn't have our cat, let's say no one ever adopted our cat would probably make it in nature and wouldn't make it as far as if she were domesticated. And I read online about, okay, why does some of this happen? Like, can cats not just eat raw meat, for example? It's like they're subject to the same foodborne illnesses as any other creature. And we heavily control what they eat if we're feeding them cat food. I think with people, it's kind of similar if it was like, if you're out in nature and you have to run, you're probably running from something or you're trying to hunt and you're running to something, but it's not like leisurely running. I don't know how often that would happen if humans were just hunters. And now we've kind of curated our environment for all this, right? We wear sneakers, most of us, when we're running. I know there's some barefoot runners out there, but I'd say they're not the norm in the US at least. Yeah, and anyway, I wonder how much curating an environment ends up changing how you interact with it such that you lose something. I guess in this case it's like comfort. Or maybe it's building up different muscles or something. I'm just rambling. Because I have no treasure ideas. I still have the question of what this is doing overall. If it's just a way to upgrade every adventurer you have, and there's no real interest in interacting with the system, then the interest comes from perks. This is basically how the other systems work too. So I don't know why it feels worse for the treasure room. Huh. I think this is important. I'm still not sure the positioning of this thing. Like maybe it is that you get a bunch of treasure chests and keys are rare. They don't cost a lot maybe, but they're just rare. So yeah, when all of these are at 4 minutes remaining, it's like you want to maximize how many you have opening at any given time. Although that would be true no matter what, I suppose, if they're going to count down on their own. Maybe you have a choice with keys. Give it to the treasure spirit, makes a chest, and give it to a chest, makes loot come out sooner. Is that interesting though? Like, I don't have treasure chests here. I think you'd always want to maximize how many treasure chests you have opening at a time. Yeah, why would I ever put it into one of these? I don't think I would. Hmm. Okay, well, what about that idea that keys are rare, but they don't cost a lot? How would it feel if keys were rare but didn't cost a lot? Then chest timers could be something like 2 minutes. So you will get the loot eventually, but the key could speed it up. The key could auto open a chest, and workers could bring it to the chest with the highest timer so that you always get the most benefit. I mean, then there's always the same typical question of like, how are you getting the rare keys? And also why are you even why do they even matter at that point? There's another kind of interesting thing. What if opening any chest opened all of them? They could be opened. Well, maybe just all of them. And you got even more loot from waiting. There's another concern here, which is that however I change this system, knowing that it'll be more viable, I now need to rebalance with that system in mind. So if you could just ignore the treasure room, which is already kind of the case for people, and then you just treat it as some pure upside thing, like you just wait 5 minutes and now you're going to have 3 chests, and you open it and you get like, whatever, I don't know, plus 50 power across all of your adventures, or even plus 15 or something. It's like, if you weren't going to have 15 power anyway, this is just a benefit. So now by just ignoring a system, you build it and you just leave it there. It's like you're going to get some benefit. There'd have to be some way for you to increase this that's interesting to you. Or else it's going to feel like, oh yeah, I just need that because I need more power. And in story mode, the interest being perks is fine. And we've said that it's somehow fine for some of the systems over here. It's like the farm. If you don't have the farm, and I go build this, it starts as a 2x2 thing. It can only give you 8 wisdom sludge by harvesting some carrots. Then as you get some perks for it, you clear out more of the rocks, you get better crops, they grow faster. They can sometimes be critically cooked, so they give you even more wisdom sludge. And I guess you can speed up your harvesting too. But without those perks, this is kind of stupid. Like, you don't get much value out of this. And actually, the farm is one of the only things that works that way. I feel like everything else at least has some baseline level of value, even the fishing pond. Hmm. Well, I still think we just go with it. Keys are probably cheap. I think keys being cheap makes the most sense. You may not want to spare the money or like the weapons early on, but eventually it won't be a problem. And you'll have infinite keys, sort of like how you'll have infinite seeds on the farm. The chests themselves become the limiting factor. I don't like this though. I just don't like this idea. Hey Molback, how's it going? I'm sort of stuck. And I'm not really doing anything different from how I normally approach these things. Like, we have a game design problem. And the solution is probably not so crazy. And actually a bunch of different things will work. But usually something will make it will crystallize sooner than this. I've been ineffective at getting to this point quicker. I've had some decent ideas. I wonder if I should look through those really fast. It's pretty much just everything with a star next to it. I'm trying to find the top of this. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so if I just search for a star. Directing keys to specific chests is not a super fun mechanic. Maybe it can matter somewhat, but I don't want it to be too impactful. I'd rather have the treasure system take some amount of your attention or actions. Yeah. What else? Yeah, that's pretty minor as far as the start item goes. What if it is a key farm? Yeah, I don't think I want to do that. I think we remove the star from this one. Okay, so I don't have a bunch of ideas, do I? Talks about the best Kenyan runners didn't grow up running for fitness or sport, or just how they got around. Running wasn't training, it was daily life. Yeah. You know, there's a lot of that I feel has changed with technology, at least in the US over the years. Like, I was talking with someone about horses the other day, and I just thought, man, horses are probably in a weird position in most of the world, right? Like, a horse used to be the work animal. And now it's a very expensive to maintain animal that doesn't really provide a lot of function over farm equipment, for example. I mean, it doesn't mean that a horse is pointless. It just means that a lot of people don't need a horse and can't afford a horse. But it makes me wonder how many of these other things are just kind of fundamental to human life that are going to change eventually. Always makes me think of Wall-E. The humans in Wall-E were, yeah, like this is what I have in my mind. They were just these like blobs that sat in chairs and watched TV all day. And they were, I think, served drinks and stuff. Yeah. And I wonder if that's the future we're headed toward. Oh, man. So if we look at the other systems in the game, they all have at least some kind of gimmick to them. Let's see. And I'll save here. The garbage slime had the hunger meter. This is like the smallest mini game. You put in a potion when it's at high hunger, it's going to offer you more money. Put in the potion when it's at low hunger, it's going to offer you less. So I'm getting only 2 gold now. It's like, okay, this is quick, understandable. There's like a reason you'd want to look at this every once in a while. I like this. I think this works. I think this is great for the game. The enchanter, there's no mini game. It's just you have mana, you click a spell. But there's some interest here in that some of the perks can make you cast random spells. You can increase the power of spells. You can increase your mana regeneration. So that ideally you're kind of chain casting spells. And then the spells can have these knock-on effects too. So there's some fun. Some of that fun comes through perks. The farm, you end up putting potions in to get seeds. Seeds are essentially very, very cheap. So you pretty much always have a full farm. And then it takes you some effort to harvest these crops yourself or wait for workers to come do it for you. With fishing, you're putting in potions and getting fish eggs, and then you have to actually send your adventurers into battle the fish to get the value out of them. So they'll battle here, they'll eventually catch the fish will go into the chef slime and cook it for sludge. And the warehouse, this is not very interesting, but it's used for storing items. It's at least a very important function, even if it's not interesting. And then we try to make some things a little bit more interesting about it by adding some perks. Like the bigger your warehouse, the more random guild supplies you'll get in it from time to time. And things like employee discount, where when a worker goes to pick up an item, they might buy it automatically. So now having a store of them helps. The treasure system has some of that interest, but it's a confusing identity right now. Wally might be onto something. I mean, to some extent, you can already kind of live your life that way right now. Maybe robots aren't serving you right now, but you can get pretty close to that. And it's not like it's even super expensive. Well, it's pretty detrimental to your health. Yeah, so the reason I think this has a confusing identity now is we have a timer on this. There's some amount of loot in here. This is always just going to be one item. So we pretty much count on you having keys to pump up these chests to give them more items. Also reduce their time so that you can open them. Then when you do open these chests, your workers need to bring the items to the guild. So there's like a long transportation time here to get all the way over to the guild. And there's a long transportation time for keys to get over to the treasure chest. Although that is something that I could just move the weapon grinder up here, and then that wouldn't be a long time. And I mentioned this before, we have code. As you can see, right now it's happening. It's not like I have to envision this. Keys are being brought to the chest. They're lowering the time. You can open them and get loot. All that stuff is already working. So I'd like to be able to reuse that code. With the farm, as you get crops, you're getting level ups for specific adventurers. With the treasure room, as you get treasure, if you don't control what's in here, it's going to just randomly allocate them to your team. And because there's a 10% chance for each adventurer, it means that if given enough items, they'll all level up pretty much equally. And that's another thing I don't know how I feel about exactly. I think that's how it should work for story mode at least. And probably how it should work for challenge mode. Like, you picking battle perks is what's going to make your mage overpowered, but not the paladin, for example. But then you getting treasure is what's going to make your whole party able to go somewhere else. I'm not even certain we need more treasure chests, although I think it would help a little bit. In fact, we could just even make 6. That would fit in this area. We put these 4 and then like 2 here. Although they're covering up the board right now. Oh, also, I think this is now... Yeah, I messed some things up here. But we could figure that out. We could get this working. I guess we just add in another little ground layer. This is going to probably look weird. Does it work? I don't know what it used to look like. Do I even have a picture of it? No. I don't. Huh. Yeah, I don't. I guess it's okay. We could just load it up from here, right? Open exported Mac build. It should be the same version because I just did this yesterday. No, I didn't do this yesterday. Well, it should still be the same version. So I click continue. Yeah, so that's what that looks like. So it's the same. So I just need to move where these are showing up. Did it complain about treasure chest? Yeah, it did. Yeah, I figured. I'm like custom modifying this stuff. So we lower these by how many pixels? Maybe like 15 or 16. And it might look okay. Plus 16, sure. Okay, now we load that up. Yeah, I mean, it looks a little bit better. I'd probably get rid of these two and just have it so that you have 6 treasure stand. And you get 2 and then 2 and then the outer 2. And then we kind of shrink everything else inward. But we can test this out without needing to solidify exactly where they are. Yeah. I think that upgrading your whole team is fine. Then maybe there can be a way to steer the loot that you get. What if you outright bought keys? What would that do? I think it doesn't do anything. And I think then we just need a way to purchase many, many keys. And that's what the weapon grinder system is. All right, well, let's try to make the rest of the changes so we can kind of prototype this. So we go to treasure room. Buy cost in regular mode. Where's the buy cost in challenge mode? Oh, I see. Buy cost of a treasure chest. I don't think this should exist. I think you should basically just start with automatically getting treasure chests. And then we need treasure display. Isn't there something about keys in here? Drop off item. It's in treasure chest. Here it is. Apply key to chest. Get time adjustment from key. So we're going to just always reduce it by 1 minute, I suppose. And keys are going to be pretty cheap. We might even want to lower this to like 30 seconds. The more time a key reduces this by, the less your workers are going to have to do. So let's just start with this. I think this is fine. And then we go to weapon grinder and we make it so that instead of taking 25 gold worth of stuff, we have it take like 5 gold worth of stuff. And that'll give you a key. So this is good. We don't have the key rarity thing yet. We need to get that. Drop off item. Drop off item isn't a thing. Process. Try using accumulated value. Grant key. There it is. So what we want is we always want it to be just a regular key. Item ID key ID equals that. Okay, so we only have them reducing this. Start chests with more loot in them so you still get something. I guess that's already kind of the case. Auto grant chest with an upgradable perk. So we have that perk. Free treasure chest? Yeah, here. And we can just give you this in town challenge mode functions. At the beginning of the run, just give you that ability. Oh, wait, this won't work, will it? Because it's a generated thing? How do we do this? Yeah, there needs to be an interval. Oh, it's going to be 60. Okay, so once every minute by default, I think. We'll need to test that out. What else do we have here? Being able to find a chest from battle, increase the number of treasure stands, require only 1 to 3 keys per chest. I think that's already kind of the case. No, with innate keys, it's not. So, where's the time? Time to open in challenge mode, 6 times 60. So let's set this to 3 minutes. And then something lowers this. It's innate keys. Yeah, I guess we just don't want this at all. Just cut this out for now. And then that's it. Okay, so that's everything. Let's go test it. Yeah, let's go test it. All right, so I'll make a new game. We'll go to just farming mode or something. It doesn't really matter. I have a bunch of workers in it. Let's give ourselves just a couple of these things, like maybe that and that and that. Great. Hey, Xyletics. Okay, now I'm going to turn on the sound. And we're going to like kind of sort of play this, but not really. Sure. Okay. And let's build maybe the treasure room at first. I don't know. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So we should be automatically getting treasure chests. And I can grind these. Whoops. I'll just put this up here. I think it'll go up there. Yeah. So now it only takes 5 gold to get a key. And we have a bunch of workers. Oh, we should sell a potion. We're getting a, well, we should get a treasure chest. I think once every minute. So yeah, when this is at about maybe a minute and 15 seconds or something. That's when we should get it. I want to sell one more potion. Come on, stop buying these. Oh man, fine. I just need some more. I should just turn this off. All right, so our treasure chest should show up here very soon. If I did that correctly. Yes, nice, good, cool. And now we have some keys. We actually already have 3, so we could just open this immediately. But it only started with 1 item in it. So I think that's kind of the issue. Stop buying this stuff. Leave some for the other blue-haired person. Yeah, nice. All right, they got the paladin shield. Yeah, I mean, that's not bad. I guess getting more loot in it could be something that is just done by perks. Yeah, maybe that's it. So perks start with, or like chests have more loot in them. Chests auto spawn sooner. Rare keys can spawn, which further decrease the time on the chest. Maybe iron keys are minus 20 seconds, and the rare keys are at least minus 1 minute. And yeah, maybe this perk has fewer levels than the current rare keys. Chests accumulate loot based on active battle locations. I still, like, for one, you'd have to be winning those battles, I guess. And in essence, it's a way of saying the harder the battle that you're doing, the better loot you'd be getting in the chest, which is kind of the same as just having perks do this stuff. excuse me, since you'd have more perks if you're fighting in harder locations. The reason I don't think I want to do it based on what battle locations you have is I don't think it's going to be clear to players how that works. And you're already incentivized to go to farther locations, so we don't need to further incentivize you. So yeah, chests have more loot in them. Chests auto spawn sooner. Rare keys can spawn, which further decrease the time. I guess let's put all this down here. Wait, there are 2 font sizes here, right? Yeah, there are. I thought the font was different. It was something I pasted. Yeah, this that I pasted up here. But I did command /, which should. Right, I'm pressing /, yeah. Huh, I thought it reset the font size too. I guess it just resets the style. So if you have it in bold and you hit command /, it sets it back to normal. Oh, normal is 11. Oh, wait a second, that's why then. It does do it, I think. It's just the size 12 font stuff shouldn't be here at all. I wonder where that happened. Like all this is size 12. Huh, how did I mess that up? It started at 11, then I must have pasted something in that made it bigger. Yep, it's right here. Whole document is ruined. Yeah, well, thankfully we can fix this by just selecting everything and setting this to 11. Oh wait, that was dumb because of this. Oh, you can set this back manually. There. Just looking for synergy outside chest interactions. Maybe a perk that improves chest rewards based on number of completed quests. Oh, I see. You're not necessarily talking about like what's needed to make the system work. You're already talking about the sort of interplay between systems. Yeah, I haven't thought of that yet. I think there's probably room to do things there. I was just thinking, what are going to be the base perks of the treasure system? Chest auto spawn sooner. Rare keys can spawn. We could have innate keys. Like chests start with lower timers. I don't think it's interesting to have both lower timers and to have keys give you even less time. Yeah. Hang on one second. Abby. She's just meowing off in the hallway. What are the other perks that we have right this second? I want to go look at those. Because I don't think a lot of them make sense now. At least not for this mode. I don't think we should have selective loot. Yeah. I don't even think we should have it in the base game, maybe. I'm not certain. Auto opening. Auto opening could be in. I don't really know how I feel about that. Perk to remove the time reduction from keys and boost the effect. Oh, the effect from keys is going to be gone. So it's just going to be a time reduction thing. So that's why there's going to be a perk that increases how much loot is in the chest. And I guess there could be some randomness to that. Like, we randomly... I'll probably need to change how we do some of this stuff. Anyway, auto opening I don't think is very interesting. Special keys, I think we can do this, but I think rather than having 4 level ups, we make it like 2 level ups. Yeah, auto purchasing, I don't think this is interesting. Well, it's going to change to just give you free treasure chests. More treasure stands is probably fine. Innate keys could potentially be fine. I think these things were a little bit confusing anyway. More treasure stands, that's still good. Okay. Do keys do different? Are there different keys? What do they do? So I think we need to answer these questions now, or at least see that they're answered. So how do you get keys? The answer is still from the weapon grinder. They're just much cheaper. 5 gold instead of 25 gold. Are there different keys? What do they do? So we're at least saying like, yes, an iron key that lowers time by, I don't know, like 20 seconds, and a special key that lowers it by 1 minute. I like the idea of adding loot, and if it's just gonna add a random item inside, then I think we could still keep those. Different keys naturally implies managing keys. Is that the goal now? Or should the goal be to just spam keys in a chest quickly? So one of the goals was stop you from being annoyed that a skeleton took the key you wanted. And one of the ways to do that is to make all keys be the same, just like minus 20 seconds to a chest. And another way to do this is make all sort of targets be the same. So right now what we have is plus X to the multiplier, or plus Y to the quantity, or plus Z to the item types. So again, the amount of loot you get out is X times Y times Z. Based on where you put a Y key, it might be better or worse for you. But the proposal here is all chests start with some amount of loot. Let's say it's like 4 to 6 items. And then we could change it so special keys just give plus 1 item. So now it doesn't matter where it goes. You're getting 1 more item regardless. So this is what I think we're going to steer toward. We can still have special keys that increase the amount of loot. And I do like the idea. Are item types in chests unknown? Yeah, so I think they just have to be randomized. As in, when you look at a treasure chest, you see something like this has 5 items inside. And you don't know what it is or what they'll be. And then when we spawn it, we choose like, oh, it's going to be 2 cloaks and fire rod and whatever else. 1 of something else and another of something else. So you wouldn't know to prioritize any particular chest. Maybe you do it based on which ones have the most items. But even then, it's going to be the difference of like plus 6 or plus 7. So even that wouldn't really matter too much. And the times will be low enough that it shouldn't matter too much. So that's kind of what I'm thinking of for this. This is just like another way to keep your workers busy. And if you're managing it yourself, then you can save your workers a bunch of time. And you could turn off the weapon grinder if you don't want your workers doing this stuff. Or you could move the keys to the warehouse. So like little ways you could speed things up. Maybe it'll be fun. I think it'll be a slightly better position than it's in now, because it does solve a lot of the small problems. Again, I've got at the beginning of this what I thought the problems were. Feels like you have to invest a lot into it for it to pay off. So we're going to change the perks so that, like right now, the best possible perk you can get is free treasure chests. Because this saves you like hundreds of gold over the run. And then the second best perk is probably special keys, which lets you add loot to the chest. So you need kind of both of those in the current way. In the new way, this will just be innate. You'll just have free treasure chests by default. And special keys will probably still help, but it just won't be as impactful. Something like a common key and a rare key with a rare increasing item drops. Yeah, so I'm still going to think about that, because I do like the idea of having different keys, and we have different key graphics. And we didn't even use them all. But if we're going to make it so that you can put it into any chest, then yeah, I don't know. We need to do something special there. Some other ideas I had are that keys could apply to every single chest at once, which I don't like that, but that's another way that we could make it so that it doesn't matter if a skeleton takes a key from you. Another thing is just don't let skeletons take keys from you. You're the one who applies them to chests. But I don't think I like that either. I think people want to automate this stuff. I think the best possible solution if keys were to have different effects and where you put them mattered would be to have some like only you can touch these keys, and then you can put it in a special area or toggle a switch and have skeletons touch them too. And then they'll just apply this to wherever they feel is necessary. But yeah, I'll think about that in just a sec. Where is... Oh yeah, I was looking at the problems. That's right. Yeah, so once you can afford keys, getting lots of them really isn't a problem. So this is pretty much how the farm worked by default. Once you get a potion, you're going to have seeds now the rest of the game pretty much. And that's okay. That's how the weapon grinder should be too. They just don't cost very much. Getting iron keys feels bad if you invested weapons into them. If you ground weapons into them. Skeletons take keys from storage automatically. If a worker takes the key to the storage room, that time chest may no longer be valid. Getting too much loot out of each chest is a potential problem. Yeah, I think the main problems were there. So if we go back up to this. So are there different keys? What do they do? I think there's room to have a key that adds one item to the chest. It may not even lower the time. Although at that point, it's not really a key, I guess. Like, they don't have to be keys. We have some other graphics here that we could use. I was talking about this the other day, but we could use these, like, orbs to say that you're adding items to it. But I think it's okay. I think it could be, like... I think we can still have some different things here. We could say this is just minus time. So, iron key minus 20 seconds. Then we have skeleton key. Auto open the chest. And add, like, 5 items to it or something. And then we have some intermediate keys here. Maybe we say like the red key is minus 60 seconds and plus 1 item. And yeah. Not sure there's necessarily room for more of these. I mean, there's no reason why we couldn't say this is like plus 2 items, and this is plus 3 items, and this is plus 4 items, and the skeleton key is the one that's plus 5. Do you still have to purchase chests, and does that cost increase for each use? So what I was thinking is you get free treasure chests. Well, no, I guess just free treasure chests is made into a regular perk. And the way it works is we have a level and a cooldown. And even at level 0, you get a chest every like 120 seconds. And then at level 1, I just make up some numbers here, right? 90 seconds. At level 2, 60 seconds. And then we say making the treasure room starts you with like 1 to 3 chests. With a we pick, I don't know what that number is. Let's just say 2. So it's like just constructing the treasure room doesn't make you wait another 2 minutes for it. It comes with some treasure chests. And then every 2 minutes thereafter, you'll get more. And then this perk will just show up in the pool and you'll be like, oh yeah, I'd like to upgrade that. I'll get a chest every 90 seconds instead of 120. So now what do you do about the other treasure stands you have? I don't know yet. And I was thinking like maybe chests could drop from battle somewhat rarely. Or maybe you can outright purchase them. I don't know how interesting it is to outright purchase them. But what I don't want to have happen is you have extra treasure stands, you have no need for them. I think it'll just come down to balancing. We'll just have to figure out how this feels. All right, are chests still timed? If so, why? Yes, they are. And what is the reason here? Like, why don't we just require... Let me think about this for a little bit longer. Why not just require that chests take 3 keys to open? I guess because then there's no concept of a key's power. E.g. minus 20 seconds versus minus 60 seconds. So it's always 3 keys, then upgrading the keys isn't that great. It's almost like you're not upgrading the keys, you're just upgrading how much loot is in the treasure chest. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. no real difference in the keys. Well, I suppose there still is. Oh, maybe, I don't know. We would essentially, if it always takes 3 to open, then instead of having different keys, we could just start chests with more loot in them based on the percent chance you would have had to get a key. Yeah, plus this is probably how it'll work for story mode, I guess, where we limit how this happens. In fact, I almost wonder if we make this be a gold key. I don't know. We'll have to figure out how this changes story mode. Adam, I have a problem. You're distracting me from my work. You should just mute me. Good luck being distracted then. And hey, Becca, I'm just kidding. I don't have a job. I mean, you might still have work. It doesn't have to be for a job. Nice to be able to buy the building just to naturally have chests open eventually without committing weapons. Otherwise, some builds feel like it's a pure lose to but the building. To buy the building. It's a loss to buy the building. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yes. I agree. Yeah, and that's part of what's motivating these changes. What was the most time you coded in a day? I don't know. I don't really think it's an interesting metric to think of like how much time can you code in a day, because I think what matters much more is the code quality and maybe like what you prioritized, but pretty much the code quality. So like, let's say you somehow manage to code for 24 hours in a given day. It's probably actually worse than you coding for maybe 6 hours. You'll probably add more bugs in that 24 hours than you would in 6 hours. And at some point, your productivity is going to drop. Now, I do think it's an interesting metric if you're talking about like 2 hours versus 3 hours. You can still be productive and write good code for 3 hours, and that's a plus 50% change. So at some small numbers, it matters. But like the difference between 8 and 14 or something, I don't think that's meaningful. All right, so our chest still timed. Yes, so that keys can matter more rather than the chests mattering more. Did I capture all the start ideas? This I haven't done yet. I got to still do that. I'll just write this at the end. Note, make sure to go through this section and capture the starred ideas. I think the item duplicator would be interesting. Maybe we could change selective loot so that you guarantee you get an item, at least one item for a specific adventurer from all chests. Could be something the treasure spirit sets up. What do you consider coding? Troubleshooting issues may not be related to coding. Yeah, I don't know the daily record. Yeah. And I bet those people who are coding for 15 hours a day are doing a terrible job. I just, yeah, there's almost no other, yeah, there's almost no way you could be that productive with quality code, at least. All right, so what happens if you have too many keys? I think they just accumulate in your key storage. I wonder, I guess having your key storage stack now would be more interesting, because there was a specific problem with having keys stacked beforehand where you could guarantee you'd get certain keys. I guess you could still have that happen here. So yeah, they just accumulate in your key storage. Yeah, sure. All right, how do you get chests? I guess just automatically. Should you be able to buy them? And should the cost even increase as they go? I wonder why we did that for this. Why did we make the cost increase? We could also have like a perk for chance to spawn multiple chests at once. Yeah, that could be interesting. And I think a perk to like automatically move the loot to the guild would be kind of nice. Chance for workers automatically be sent to the guild. If you have a storage location for each type, could you just have a number appear next to the stack of keys to allow infinite stacking? We could. I actually think it's a problem to allow infinite production of the keys because then you would have to manage the weapon grinder. Like imagine if you have the weapon grinder just set to the on position and you don't remember that it is. And now you have like 60 keys of type A and like 30 B keys or something like that. And it's like, well, I don't need that many keys for the rest of the game. So I think we just put a limit for that reason. Also so that we don't make your workers just kind of infinitely bring keys. Like imagine if there's nothing else to do in your town and then they grab like 14 of the keys and they don't need that many. So how do you get chests automatically? I'm still torn on whether you can purchase them or if the cost should even increase. I don't trust that on auto no matter what's happening. You might now if the cost is only 5 gold per thing, because that means that it takes 20 gold to fill, which is 7 bows. Although I guess those keys are only going to lower the time by 80 seconds anyway. But yeah, I think this will lead to some more interesting decisions. Anyway, why do you want multiple treasure chests? Because time will chip away at them all. It basically saves some money on keys and lets some other perks shine. Is that true? I mean, the time chipping away at them all is true for sure. But is it interesting? Because I'm thinking of the scenario where, what if you're only getting like red keys? Do you really need more than one treasure chest to be there? Also, this is like the warehouse. If you ever have a shortage of keys for some reason, then you'll have backup chests that will still work toward getting loot. Yeah, I like the idea at least. Put it in a special machine, which takes time, but makes them drop better loot. I think the keys will essentially just do that. But yeah, I thought about a while ago, what if you could increase the amount of time on a treasure chest? And it would also increase the amount of loot in there. I guess if you're going through chests too quickly, it could solve that problem. But I think if that becomes a problem, we should probably just have more ways of getting treasure chests, maybe. Yeah. All right, should you even be able to choose loot from the chests? I'm gonna say no. What do keys do? I already answered that. What will the changes work for story mode? Okay, so what are the changes we have here? You still get keys from the weapon grinder. I mean, the cost reduction is not something we have to apply to story mode. And then the different keys. I wonder if we could just use the current system for story mode. I never tested it. We're gonna need to test it, I guess. I guess delete this. But everything else kind of makes sense. How do you get them in story mode? You should have to pay. It is a money sink. So like making you pay for it, I think is totally fine. Which means I think you should be able to pay in challenge mode and we maybe just make it more expensive. So right now, I believe the cost is like 25 and it goes up by 3 every time. I think what we could do is we could just say it's 50 always. So the beginning cost is higher, but it never goes up. Actually, the efficacy of treasure goes down, doesn't it? No, wait, maybe that's not true. I don't think that's true. Well, it's kind of sort of true. At first, one item gives you +1 power. Then it takes 2 items to give you +2 power. So per item, it's still the same, but you get no benefit when you've turned in half of the target. So like when it takes 5 items to give you +5 power, if you only turn in 3, you actually get +0 because you haven't met the threshold yet. So that's the only way that they technically don't have as much value, but otherwise it's pretty much the same. Although I guess the way... Okay, so at the beginning, +5 power when you have like 10 power base means that you're getting +50%. But then the next time you get +5, it's only +33%. So yeah, it doesn't make sense for the price to be increasing in challenge mode, I think. So yeah, I think we just pick a cost and we set treasure chests to that cost and we don't make them increase. Lock the cost of chests to X gold in bone mode. There's no real reason for them to increase in cost. And have auto purchasing be enabled by default just in case someone wants to use it. Hey TJ, how goes it? Oh, and then start the treasure room with 1 to 2 chests in it so that you don't have to wait for the auto timer. Any other things that I have written down? So answer is no idea. We'll have to test it. As a result, we should probably keep the existing keys in the game. Like what I'm thinking is we used these 5 keys, but we have a golden key that we didn't use. So what we could do is we could use these 3 keys in bone mode. The iron key would be -20 seconds. The gold key would be -60 seconds and +1 item. And the skeleton key would be immediately open the chest and give you like +5 items. And this one will be super rare pretty much no matter what. That's fine. But yeah, I think this opens up for some like, we could do special perks like get a skeleton key every time event. Skeleton key or chest. Or something like that. Or add items to all chests. Or yeah. All right. I'm reasonably happy. I don't even know how we got here. Like I don't know what happened that let me feel like, hey, we were on the right track. I guess it was just chugging away at this problem. But yeah, I want to make sure we've captured all of this. So still get this from the weapon grinder. It's just cheaper. Our different keys, what do they do? We've got this. Let's say this is the golden key. Yeah. Chest still timed. Yes. What happens if you have too many keys? They accumulate in storage. How do you get chests? So are you ever limited on storage space? I guess not really. Also, all the keys have value. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. Let's look at this again. All the conclusions. Change keys so they all decrease the time. This isn't actually true. Change keys so that they do this. Iron key is -20 seconds. Gold key is -60 seconds and +1 item. And skeleton key is -100% time and +5 items. And then change treasure chests so that you should still probably be able to tell what items are inside. But I guess we need to show quantities now so that they show exactly the loot they're going to grant. not this quantity times multiplier stuff. Mostly data entry. Put this information here now, not there. Updating my personally used spreadsheet that makes most things copy paste to reflect the changes. Takes a bit to update, but saves a ton of time in the long run. Yeah. Yeah. Do other people, I know you said personal spreadsheet, but have you ever thought of sharing those changes with the rest of the team? Because I think, oh, hi, Kat. I think I'd be torn on like, oh, this is my secret sauce that makes me a good worker versus this can increase the company efficiency. You want to come over, Kat? Hi. This is Abby, everybody. Abby's a good kitty cat. You're very soft right now. Hi. Yeah, come on over. Yeah. Good cat. So, Abby. Abby. You want to come over? Hey. Hey, Catso. Sit your butt down. Come on. Good. Okay. He was going to jump off there. Hey, Pepper. Hi. All right. Once she sits down, I can get back to coding. Well, coding. I mean, I'm going to have to compile all of these things first. Change keys so they all decrease the time. This makes more sense than adding loot to the chest. Could add the treasure room to the QMM. Add this for keys and have the key go to the chest with the highest time. Not sure if anyone uses it, but they can if they want to. Yeah, I think that's good. I think there are a lot of those sorts of things where there's like competing incentives at a lot of companies. And you hear this a lot of big tech companies of like, what's going to get someone a promotion? And then they seek out those projects and then don't necessarily do what's best for the company or for the team. And that's where I think smaller companies can shine a little bit more because it's like those incentives are hopefully more aligned with the company and just kind of growing things. Start chests with more loot in them so that you just get something. So how much should they start with in them? Like if you're getting chests for free and if this building doesn't cost you very much, I guess maybe start with like 2 items in them. Although, how many minutes are chests going to start with? Start chests with 3 minutes remaining and 3 to 4 items in them. The iron keys don't really help you that much, right? I guess the phases of the game, it's going to work such that you have more chests than you have keys. Then you start getting enough keys to open everything. And then you start getting more items maybe in them. Because you can only use, if there are 3 minutes remaining, you can only use 3 of these keys, which would bring you from 3 items to 6 items in a chest, which is still interesting. But if the 3 items are randomly chosen, the odds of them actually helping you are probably somewhat slim. Yeah, I think this is good. Auto grant chest via an upgradable perk. I think once every 2 minutes for bone mode is probably best. Yeah, so something like this. Starting with level 0. 2 minutes down to 90 seconds, down to 60 seconds. We could have it go all the way down to 30 seconds. I don't even know. Like I said, this is going to need some balance testing. Because what if we said this is 0? Like you always have a treasure chest on all slots, no matter what. Is that a problem? I guess you would eventually have so many weapons, you'd be getting tons of keys, and you'd just always be putting them in chests. I don't think it'd be very interesting if we did that. So I think you should have to wait on these, and you can maybe spend your money if you want to. Yeah, I think that's probably reasonable enough. Being able to get a chest from battle. I think this is kind of cool. We don't need to do this, though. Increase number of treasure stands from 4 to 6. Let's start with that. Change key acquisition. Make it so that the weapon grinder costs only maybe 20% of the original cost. 5 gold instead of 25 gold. Hey, Goldskin. I am doing well. How are you doing? It's been a couple of months. Yeah. What was the best thing to happen to you in September? Someone's working on something on a more global level to use more or less what I do. Oh, more or less what I do in Excel. A web form that'll be required. Yeah. Although you could possibly contribute to that global tool too. I don't know. It's kind of interesting seeing those things happen. When I was working at my last job, interviewing was a big thing, and everyone needed to come up with essentially like a leak code problem, and there was a repository of ones that you could use, and I found one that I liked that I didn't think had a very good write-up for it. So I made a document and led everyone through this. And then this problem became like a super popular problem for the company to ask, such that it got associated with the company and then got banned as a question pretty much. And I just felt like I was sort of punished for making my work more accessible. I wasn't explicitly punished. It's not like someone came to me and said, hey, this is bad. It was just that by making this so much easier to do, everyone just started kind of using it, and then it kind of ruined it for everybody. And I always wonder, like, what was the lesson there? I don't know. Hey, helpless hero. So at the end of the day, the thing is, I didn't mind interviewing people, but I didn't want to have to like come up with that process again. So I don't remember what ended up happening. Pigs eat, hogs get slaughtered. Yeah, but this is more like a tragedy of the commons kind of thing, where it's no one person exactly who caused this. Lock the cost of chests. Have auto purchasing being enabled by default. Be available by default, I guess. Start with the treasure room with 1 to 2 chests. Sure. Sure to go through this section and capture the ideas. Yeah, so let me just go through that now, because this doesn't need to stay on the list. I don't even think there's anything more than the item duplicator. And I like the idea of it. Yeah, that's fine. That we're not going to do. That's fine. Where's the item duplicator? Huh, weird. This didn't show up when I was searching. Huh, yeah, strange. Maybe I don't know what I did. Maybe I put a space before it or something. OS I've been working with has finally been announced. It's an Android replacement for Fire Stick. Pretty pumped. Oh, cool. Fire Stick is the Amazon thing, right? Yeah. Huh, interesting. Probably more that you made a tough exercise simpler so it can be used to test. Well, it was just that, like I said, it got associated with the company. So imagine if I asked a question like, I don't know, sort an array. This is not something you would ever ask in a leak code interview because it's very easy to do. But anyway, suppose I ask that question, and originally it's maybe like 3 people per week ask this at the company. Based on what I did, it ended up going up to like 30 people per week. So now there are forums out there where people can be like, oh, hey, if you're going to go interview at this company, they're going to ask you to sort an array. So like, be ready for that question. And then the company finds out that those forums posted that, and then they're like, oh, hey, you can't do this anymore. So I guess I made it easier for other employees to ask that question. By the way, random thought. I search Skeleseller videos every day, and today a Japanese YouTuber uploaded a video. So 4 hours ago, it's already got 1,000 views. And if you want to see what this does for a game, I'll show you exactly what it does. Currently, and I haven't looked at this in the last few hours, but well, that's not going to load. Come on. Come on, computer. Well, anyway, fine. I guess I can't show you this. But when I looked earlier, there were 8 people currently playing the demo. And normally it's like 8 people over the course of a day. So I'm pretty sure that's just from this YouTube video. I'm kind of surprised it won't load. I know Tuesday is maintenance day for Steam, so maybe that's what's going on. I'll try one more time. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work. All right, well, we'll never know. I guess we could go to the itch metrics, although I don't think that would have increased too much. Yeah, it's not noticeable. Steam is not responding. Is Steam not working for any part of Steam? Oh, wow. That is quite impressive. Oh, hey, Hamilton. Yeah, Steam is down for everyone. Yeah. Out of curiosity, these sites that report this, how many people reported it? Yeah, like this. 4,500. I was going to say, when there's some smaller site that's down, you'll see a bump like this. It won't hit 1,000 reports, though. It'll go to like 20 or 30. And you'll be like, okay, yeah, it's probably down. But yeah, for Steam, it's so visible. I think it's 4,500 reports. Why did you break Steam? I just didn't want people to enjoy video games if it's not Skeleseller. Actually, this is a bad thing, right? Because the timing of this actually had people go and try this game. And now they're going to go to Steam and maybe wishlist it or download it and be like, oh, it's broken. I can't do that. Yeah. Well, Steam usually isn't offline for too long. Yeah. Page views 1.7 million. What? Percent relative to the last 2 days? What is this? What is this like time span? Is it just maybe it's across the last 2 days, yeah. And maybe this is like the spike that's happening. Wow, pretty crazy. Oh, wow. No, it's 1.7 million in the last hour. Oh my God, that is nuts. Although I wonder how much this auto refreshing thing has to do with this. That's presumably why they did this, so it doesn't count as another page view, maybe. Wow. Crazy, crazy, crazy. All right, I like this idea. Might be an attack. It could be. I usually, in this case, I don't think speculation probably helps too much. Like, if it's an attack, Valve may or may not say something afterward. But Tuesday is usually their maintenance day. There could have just been a bug. Somebody pushed a prod. Oh, wait, you meant an attack maybe on that site? Like 1.7 million views on the site might be an attack? We are back, as in Steam's back? Is that all it took? No, never mind. Or maybe your particular Steam server's back. All right, so this idea that I had here, yeah, on Steam, yeah, it certainly could be. Also, welcome in, VK. So the idea was you get some sort of slot in the game. It'd be a building, I guess, but it'd only have one slot there. There'd be some kind of machine. And what it does is, well, I guess what I'm thinking is pretty much it's like the duplicators in Stardew Valley. Yeah. Stardew duplicator. Crystallarium, that's what it was called. Yeah, so the way that this worked in Stardew is you just plopped in a crystal, like a diamond, and it would spit out another diamond every so often. I think it'd be cool to do that for treasure, potentially. So, like, let's say you want to guarantee you're going to get the mage weapon. You could put a mage weapon in your little duplicator thing, and then out pops a new mage weapon every once in a while. Except the way I was picturing it is it would work in a more Skeleseller fashion where you would need to keep feeding the duplicator. So it's an idea. I think we should probably file it somewhere. But yeah. Idea item duplicator for guild supplies to slightly influence how you get treasure. Yeah. And I'll paste this in. You put in an item and it'll spit out 2 instances of that item after Y time. After, I'll just say sometime. You can eventually have it spit out more copies. You could even have an upgrade to make it feed 1 copy back into itself until turned off. Or clicked. Maybe this is just a treasure duplicator. Yeah. Since that page seems to say that Seattle's still offline, I can't understand that table. Yeah, it didn't at least work for me. But yeah, I want to show you all that page when it does work. Okay, so what I think we can do is start coding this stuff. A lot of this should be pretty easy. And then we can just get to testing it. So maybe let's spend, well, not the perks. The perks won't be easy. But the rest of this stuff should be. We have to change quite a lot, though, so I don't think we can just get it done today. Yeah. So I'm going to just put this into phase 1. I need to organize this list. Change, revamp the treasure system. All right, so that's all this stuff. Okay. Oh, interesting. I think this is like a different list that we have here. Anyway, don't care. So change keys. Iron key is going to be minus 20 seconds. Do we have different things that they do based on which mode you're in? I don't recall, but I don't think so. It's loading for me now, but it's not quick. Still not loading for me. Where's Steam? Yeah, I'll try again in a bit. I don't think we have differences in the keys right now. I think there's like a time reduction per key. There it is. This is not like a challenge mode thing. No, it's not. Well, we could... No, we couldn't do this. Hang on, let me think about this. What I wanted to do is start chess at 3 minutes and have the iron keys do minus 20 seconds and have the gold keys do minus 60 seconds. So I was going to say, if we don't want to change this, we could multiply everything by 3. But then the problem is if you don't use keys, you're waiting 9 minutes instead of 3. So we can't really do that. So I think we just change the time based on what mode you're in. Oh, and then these need to change too. Yeah, yuck. Oh, fine. I guess we have to do it. So these are not going to be constants. They're just going to be doubles that are based on that. Field initializer cannot reference the non-static field method or property. This can be static. It just can't be constant. Because time reduction per key is now going to be static but not constant. Except for this doesn't even know. Okay, I'm going to need to change everything. Oh, man. Fine. Are these used outside of this class, though? They are. Time reduction per key times 3. This can't be constant either, huh? Okay, so now we put all these together. Where all the other fields are, properties, or whatever they're called. I guess right there. Then put some spaces. And then this needs to be public, should come before private, yeah. I just didn't move these down far enough. Okay, now the 60 here is going to be based on whether or not you're in challenge mode. So or set that here. So if you're in challenge mode, it's going to be 20. Otherwise, it's going to be 60. And then the other ones are always going to do 3 times that amount. That's fine. Okay. So that should work. Now treasure chests. What is this doing? Oh, I see. Yeah, treasure chests should start with 3 minutes. They do. Seattle's list is recovered. Oh, nice. It works now. Cool. Anyway, the thing I wanted to show was this, which may or may not be back online. Use Steam mobile app. All right, let me show this. Okay, well, it's not the same number it was earlier, but it's currently 5 people playing the demo. And like I said, I attribute most of these people, probably 4 of them, to that YouTube video. But you can see there were 21 units given out today. I don't know how long Steam was offline for, so that could have had a dent in this, because that YouTube video has only been online for about 4 hours. So if Steam was offline for one of those hours, then obviously a quarter of its lifespan was in a state where you couldn't go download the game. But yeah, these numbers have not been very healthy. It's because I haven't been doing much marketing. So it's nice that someone with a lot of YouTube subs just found Skeleseller and played it. And by the way, they found it within the last 24 hours because their video has the new changes in them. Can I stop this, by the way? How do I close this? There. Yeah, so I just published this, the battle portraits, and their video had that. All right, so we had that written down. So I've done all of this. I haven't put in the gold key. Now we need to change the skeleton key as well. I'm debating what exactly I want to do. Like, do I want to do this on stream? Do I want to stream until like lunchtime? Because if I want to stream for longer, I should really go take a break right now. How long has it been? Yeah, it's been like 2 hours of me just yapping about design. Yeah, let's take a break and work for at least another hour on this stuff. All right, is it jump time? It's jump time. For those new, you can just type join in Twitch chat to play. This does not work on YouTube. And then J and a number between these 2 values, so you can jump. You can see some examples here. Try to make it to the top. I'll be back in a bit. Okay, hello again. Close the game. All right, let's get back to work on this stuff. So iron keys are already doing 20 seconds. Gold keys don't even exist in the game. And a whole bunch of perks are going to need to change in their text. Probably need to change the text of some perks. And rebalance things for story mode. What could we do here? Oh man, we're going to need to change how treasure chests even display what loot they have inside. I should probably take a picture of this so I don't need to keep reopening this. It's breaking. What's going on? Treasure chest. This should just be like this. What's the problem over here? Yeah, there. I just want to get a picture of the tooltip because it's going to change. Let's put us. No, that's fine. And what does this one say? Speed up the opening process using keys. Okay, it's probably fine. Let's get a picture of this. And let's get a picture of the other one. Okay, so right now it says quantity 1, and it's assumed that it applies to all of these items. That's not how this is going to work. What I was thinking we could do is we could do something. Maybe that's a bad example. Maybe this is a better example. Items needed 12, and then we show a potion. Like we just put a number next to the graphic. It's like 1 mage fire rod. Alternatively, I guess we could just put it in the. You just say like X1 over here or something. We had a PR that I don't think was totally finished yet, but that did something similar to this. Yeah, we just put the number ahead of it. Yeah, I guess that's easy enough to do. It's just a question of how should this work for story mode? Because if we're going to go back to how things used to work, I guess that's what I need to figure out probably ahead of time so I don't waste a bunch of time doing this. Yeah, all right, fine. Back to the drawing board for a little bit. Hopefully this doesn't take super long. All right, so I wrote answer no idea, we'll have to test it. So I don't think we can accept the no idea answer about story mode. We're going to need to change how loot is tracked and whether or not we want to use the other keys. So let's think about it. Current system is you have quantity times multiplier times item types. Loot from each chest. The idea was that you could max out a chest by providing just the right keys to get, I don't remember how much, I don't know, like upwards of, like, let's say 48 items at a time. I don't think that's necessary. Yeah, I don't think that's necessary. So can we just use this system? The times will change a bit so that keys are required so that you're forced to just keep getting weapons. Although then you're definitely going to want something to do with armor items. Probably just need some other item dump system in the game. You know, there is another thing I hadn't really thought of too much, which is that the game is not as long as I'd originally planned. The original plan was to add maybe 2 hours to the demo, and the treasure room would have been like the main way of progressing at that point. And I think we can easily add an hour. I think that's fine. So I guess for some people that hour is going to naturally feel like it's not enough time and they're going to take 80 minutes or 90 minutes or something. So yeah, maybe I shouldn't think about this too much. But I do think whatever we end up doing, yeah, I think they should just use the same system. I think we should just change the current system to the new one so that we have only a single system here. Across both modes. This means you wouldn't have a quantity and a multiplier and whatever else. Yeah, I think it's, yeah, I think it's what we do. So we change the whole system then. So then we don't need to worry about which key we're using. Although, well, I don't know, maybe the player might care. Like iron and gold as opposed to, if you only had to pick one, so we have 6 of these here. If you ignore these two and you had to pick one to be a special key, which would it be? And I feel like I'd pick either the red, the teal, or the gold one, but not this one. This just looks like a bronze key or something like that. So might as well just pick the gold one. Yeah. Okay, sure. All right, let's go do it. Make a purple key also. I don't have a purple key. You know how many hundreds of dollars it would take to color one of these keys purple? Yeah, that kind of technology. All right, so we had a bunch of keys here. Iron, skeleton, glassy, teal, red key. So we're going to add in gold key. All item data. Let's take the red key and put in the gold key. Okay, so if the first one's called an iron key, opens a chest. Oh, this can't say 1 minute sooner. Ooh, I think we, oh man, I think we might need different items depending on which mode we're in. Alternatively, we could just use the same times everywhere. But I gotta write this down for when we get back to story mode. Need the treasure system to work in story mode. Some tooltips will be wrong. E.g., there's a time hard-coded into the iron key tooltip. All right, so we'll just say 20 seconds sooner. Or opens a chest 20 seconds sooner. And then skeleton key immediately opens a treasure chest and adds 5 items to the chest. Maybe the other way around. Adds 5 items to a chest and immediately opens it. All right, and then the last one is the gold key. Call it the gold key. Out of curiosity, golden. Okay. Well, it's technically both. I mean, it is a key made of gold. I think gold key is fine. All right, so adds, let's see, 1 item to a chest. And opens it 60 seconds sooner. Okay. Now the graphic needs to change. Graphic is 1 to the left of the iron key, so it is 6, 7. And we should be good with that. Nice. And then skeleton key we already have. And now we need to go make them work. So the weapon grinder needs to be able to generate those. Random rare key. So this is going to be different. You have a chance of generating a gold key and a chance of generating a skeleton key. And I think the skeleton key should have the same 10% chance. So I think we just do this. Gold key. There, done. All right, anything else to change in here? Should be something. I don't see it. All right, well, this auto accumulator thing we don't need. We don't need this. Auto key accumulator. Purplearn. The purplearn key. Made out of purple. What am I missing? I don't know what I'm missing. I think this is probably just working. And we change the rare key perk. Change rare, it's like special keys, tooltip, and values. Okay. So we're going to generate some keys, and we don't have this perk, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we don't have the special keys perk. So there's a 20% chance that we get a gold key and a 2% chance that we get a skeleton key. So if we generate 5 of these, we should see a gold key. Okay, this is not good. I think it should be a 20% chance. That's strange. There have not been any gold keys so far. And this is now a large enough sample size that it's starting to spook me. Ah, there's one. It was just unlucky. Adds 1 item to a chest and opens it 60 seconds sooner. So what if I click this? Does it work? It did open it sooner, but it doesn't know how to apply this thing. Glassy key. So yeah, we don't do any effect for this. And I'm going to need to change all of this, aren't I? Yeah, so if it's the gold key, then we're going to say, I guess we're just going to change drop quantity. It's really just going to add a random item. I think the way we should track this is just a list of item IDs. Or maybe, oh no, we should just track it as loot. What am I talking about? Yeah, in fact, do we already do that? That'd be nice if we did. I doubt it though. Yeah, we have get loot. This should just be tracked. It shouldn't be generated. And I need to change how all this works anyway. What a shame. What a shame. Okay, well, let's do it. Private loot inside. Or maybe we just call it loot. I think it's fine. All right, so treasure chest starts with some amount of loot. How does this work? We initialize this thing and we say add random adventurer item type. This is not how this is going to work. Oh, I don't want to delete this code, but we have to. Yeah, we have to. And we need to change the save data too. Oh, God. It's never easy, is it? Yeah. Well, we should really hold off on publishing another demo then if we do this. Bump the save version. Just comment it out. I generally don't like leaving dead code in because it'll inevitably confuse somebody 6 months or 12 months from now when they stumble on this and they're like, why is this still here? It doesn't look like it's being used anywhere. It's just easy to come to the wrong conclusions if you look at dead code in the code base. But yeah, this is a shame. Do we even have a way to save loot? How do we check that? We got to go here, copy path, then go into that directory and search for loot. We don't. We just have a Boolean that says show loot. Well, nothing about loot is special, right? It's a dictionary and a... Oh, it's just a dictionary. No, they're item IDs. Item IDs save just fine. So we just need to make sure that we're saving this, but not the item IDs here. Why does this exist? What? That's bizarre. Yeah, that's a little bit bizarre. But sure, whatever. I'm going through the grieving process right now. I'm saying goodbye to this code. Yeah, fine. Let's delete it. So current time, initial time, and then loot equals loot. Were these public? They must have been because they're capitalized. Yeah, they are. Why? For the sake of the tooltip? Yuck. Yeah, yuck. I don't want to delete it. Yeah, I don't want to delete it. Field should not follow a property. What? Get loot. Yeah, that's gonna be gone. Okay, never mind. This is fine. All right, let's get the save data thing. Let's get this fixed up. Delete all of these. Drop item types, multiplier, and quantity. Drop quantity. Oh, all this stuff is bad. Yuck. Total quantity. Is this even needed? What is this? This is for the sake of the tooltip again. Fine, fine. Delete, delete. Where's the quantity, the item types? Just delete it all. Then probably delete most of this stuff because it's not being used anymore. Yeah. Okay, put this in here. Public loot equals null. Delete, delete. I guess just bump the game version now. I'm glad you can feel the pain. I'm glad. This pain is worth sharing. Okay, so this is if you had selective loot. Selective loot probably won't exist anymore. Add random adventurer item type. Or add the specific item ID that we want here. So this is going to be loot.add item. And it's going to be this. Okay, and this is going to be add random adventurer item. And we're going to get the ID, and we're going to do loot.add add item. No item ID. No, perfect. Okay, cool. So that's looking good. Now apply innate keys. I don't think this is going to exist anymore. So what do we do about this? What did I say the perks are? Chests have more loot in them. That's kind of like innate keys. It's just not called innate keys anymore. Chest auto spawn sooner. Chance to spawn multiple. Chance for loot to automatically be sent to the guild. Rare keys can spawn. More treasure stands. Yeah, none of this is about innate keys. Hey, showboat. I will show you a boat. There you go. One boat. So we just delete all this. All right, well, what did this code do? And why was it different from this? Oh, I'm not even on another branch. I should probably be on another branch. Yeah. Git checkout -b. Yeah. Okay, so we would get this to figure out how many keys. We would apply some normal keys. Why would we do this? Less loot? Oh. And then non-skeleton rare keys? Oh no. This is all gonna change. Also, interesting that there were different functions for these. What did this do? Just applies an effect without needing a proper item instance. And this would apply it while needing the item. I wonder why. Because it would reduce the time as well. I don't like any of this. I don't think this should be here. So, all right, let's go see what needs to get replaced if we do that. Apply key to chest has key effect. Okay, that's fine. This stuff doesn't need to exist. The skeleton key is going to do something a little bit different. We're going to add 5 items. We don't have a way of doing that right now. The glassy key is not a thing. So it's just these two. Get time adjustment. So iron key is time reduction per key. Time reduction. Yeah, this is already working. Nice. Okay, we're getting there. Loot equals loot. That's going to fail because no, it's not going to fail. All right, so get loot is not needed. We just delete this. And then anywhere we're calling get loot, which was literally just right here, we just delete that. Okay, still making progress. Looking good. Where's the treasure chest? There it is. Now get valid item IDs. Valid in the function name means ones that aren't already in the chest. Why did we do this though? It's not even being called anymore, I'm guessing. Add random adventurer item. That's not how this works anymore. It just adds any item. What type of game am I making? Hey Cass. I'm making a game called Skeleseller. It is a very like casual, idle light is what I've been calling it. Town management auto battler. I think it'll be clearer looking at the Steam page though, kind of what all that means. Also, there's a demo. It's like 2 hours long if you want to play it. It's pretty solid, I would say. All right, so valid item IDs are just going to be given all the classes. We're going to go through, we don't care about this. We're just going to add it no matter what. So I guess we can change this to just be valid item IDs equals adventurer classes dot select that. And then this needs to change. And even this can be done like this. Well, that's a pretty simple function. It used to be like 9 lines of code. Now it's pretty much 1. So I don't necessarily like this. This isn't going to be valid anymore. It's just going to be like get guild supply IDs from adventurer classes. Something like that. And then let's just delete this. Okay, looks good. Valid.count is 0. That's impossible. Well, I mean, I guess we could leave it there. It's fine guard code to have, but it should be impossible. All right, so it says apply skeleton key. We're supposed to add 5 items to this thing. So it's not num effects to add, it's num items to add. And we're just going to set it to 5. And then go through each item and just call add random adventurer item. There. And then golden keys need to do the same thing. Gold key already is doing that. That's good. And yeah, I think that's kind of that. So apply and 8 keys shouldn't be used anymore, nor should anything that it calls, which I'm not happy about that. Let's take a look. So treasure chest less loot. I guess I'll write this in some cleanup section here. May not be needed or may need to act differently. Oh, speaking of, this should be done 3 times. Huh. I guess let's just do this 3 times. Const int num starting items equals 3. It should have done this for me. Okay. All right, tooltips are going to be super broken, but it looks like this class is almost done. Is this your first game? No, this is not my first game. But yeah, the gameplay on YouTube, I don't know if you found like a random YouTuber playing it, but I do recommend trying the demo if you want. I think it is pretty fun. The demo's been pretty well received. All right, innate keys. Let's go look at this. So we're going to need to fix this up. The rest of this stuff, I think we're just deleting. We don't even probably use non-skeleton rare keys anymore. Yeah, we're not going to use this. Treasure room innate keys. Key IDs in regular mode. Key IDs in challenge mode. Interesting. But yeah, innate keys is going to get deleted. Probably be deleted entirely. All right, well, let's delete all of this. And then what do we have over here? Yeah, pretty much the same thing. So is apply key to chest still used? Apply key to chest. Yes, it is. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. All right, next up is the tooltip stuff. That is being done right here. And we initialize it like this. And this should have a lot of red in it. Yeah, all of this stuff. So this is what the tooltips used to look like right here. And now what I think we're going to do is we're going to say items inside and then just put a number before all of these. So it would say something like 2 golems enchanted rock shard. And then we delete the thing about quantity and we keep this. That still needs to be there. You can speed up the opening process using keys, or it says click to open this treasure chest. So delete the quantity section. Yeah, delete all of that. Quantity text doesn't need to be there. But set items needs to be changed. Yeah, there. All right. And then it's not item IDs. It's going to be the treasure chest loot. We used to pull this from drop item types. Treasure chest dot loot. Okay, so this is going to take in loot. So we free everything that was there. And then the reward rows are going to... These are just nodes. Map tooltip item reward. Drat. Drat. This doesn't have a way to set a quantity. I do this somewhere else though, don't we? Where do we do that? No, I took a picture of where we did it, right? Didn't I? Hold on, I'm confused. I know we do this somewhere. Oh, no, it was the PR that did it. This is the picture. Oh, and this probably changed. Yeah, oh man, okay. All right, well, here's what we do then. We're going to make this dead simple. We're going to go through all the loot. No, we're going to make a new list of item IDs. And every time there's a duplicate thing here, so I guess just make a new thing here. And then just iterate over all the loot for each. Yeah, nice. That'll do it. Am I on a Linux OS? No, I'm on Mac. Okay. There are usually some kind of giveaways, although I guess you can have any window manager you want and you can try to look like other things. But this is usually the giveaway that you're on a Mac. If you can't see anything else, the dots at the upper left. When I was on Windows, the start menu would show up at the bottom left, like there's the big start logo, and people would still ask what operating system I'm on, which granted is always a valid question. It's like you might not notice that, you might not know what the tells are. And probably you can make a window manager on Linux look like Windows, although I don't know why you'd want it to have the start menu in that case. But yeah, I'm on Mac. I used to stream on Windows, and I think I have a YMac command. They're not like super compelling reasons. It's not meant to convince other people. It was just why I switched. And the short answer is the hardware, which I was just ruminating on recently, that no one probably would have said that like 15 years ago. But once Apple started making their own silicon, I think it became much more compelling. Okay, so let's grant most things so I can afford this. And now what? I guess save. So if I make a treasure chest, there's kind of weird spacing there. We could probably get by with only making one new line on that. And if I purchase enough of these, we'll eventually see. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now as a compromise. We're just, if there's an item there twice, we're just going to show it twice instead of 2x or something. And we'll eventually do something about that. At least they'll always show up next to each other. And it's kind of cool that this tooltip expands vertically to show you got a lot of loot in here. But it's only kind of cool. I think work for later, we're going to need to say. Work for later. When this PR is done, this one. There we go. We can use the item plus quantity labels rather than duplicating entries in the chest tooltip. Okay, well, it's loading. We can presumably try this out. So I'm going to put this in here. It should add an item. It did. And it lowered the time by 3 minutes. And then this should lower the time by 1 minute, even though it says 20 seconds and this one says 60 seconds. Neat. It'll have the right things over here if I do this. I guess it doesn't really matter what we click here. All right, so give me some money. Give me the treasure room. Come on, treasure room. Where is the treasure room? There it is. All right, so if I buy a chest, which I shouldn't have to do eventually, it should start with 3 minutes on it. Yeah, 3 minutes. And then if I get enough keys, I'll eventually see a skeleton key. Oh, yeah, you can't do that. I guess we can just give ourselves items then. And if I put this sword in here, we'll get practically infinite keys. Yeah, 28 overflow keys. So if I drag this in, it's only going to remove 20 seconds each time. But eventually, I'll find a special key. And if I really, really keep going with this, I'll find a skeleton key, which I do want to test. So there, we added in another item. When we open this, we should get those 4 items out. So 2 warrior's plate, a mushroom, and a paladin shield. Is that what we get? Yes, good. Good, good, good. Okay, let's get some more of these. So they all start with 3 items. I think that's pretty nice. I do want to find a skeleton key, but there's only a 2% chance. So I guess let's have workers do this for us. They'll eventually find it. What's going on? Oh, right. I should probably randomize that a little bit. They're not failing yet. Okay, go grab all the keys until you find a skeleton key. It's never going to actually make one, will it? Nope. Okay. Well, when probability is not on your side, you cheat probability. So instead of a 10% chance, let's just swap these 2 things. Now there's a 90% chance to get a skeleton key. And I'll be able to test it out. So remember, the skeleton key immediately opens. Oh, I didn't save. It immediately opens the chest and adds 5 items to it. So we need to build the treasure room. Hello, there it is. Okay, now we give ourselves a bunch of keys. We hope to find a golden key or a skeleton key. Come on. It's an 18% chance. There it is. Nice. Okay, so I'm going to buy a new chest. It's got 3 items in it. We're going to drag this over there, and it should have 8 items. Nice. So we get 2 cleric scepters, 3 armors, 2 of those, and 1 quiver. Yeah. Cool. All right, that wasn't too bad. So this is done. This is done. This is done. This is done. I don't think we've done any of these other things. This is done. All right, so I should make a commit pretty soon. Yeah, let's make it now. Oh, wait, there's one part of this that we did extra that I am not super happy with. I made the treasure room larger so that if you did get more, let's just save this and go back to the title screen. If you did get more treasure stands, you can now have up to 8. I don't think you need up to 8. I think getting 6 is fine. And I think the way it should grow is 2 and then 4 and then 6. So we just have 3 total levels. You get +2 each time. I think that's pretty fair. However, the difficult thing here is that that's the only perk that's ever going to increase the number of treasure stands you have. So if you feel limited and you don't get offered that perk, then you're just stuck with 2 treasure stands. I guess it's not really different from the farm in that case. The farm might be very tiny, but it's producing pumpkins all the time or something, but yeah. Also, I guess it's not that hard to change it. So let's not make this too complicated. First of all, let's see how high does that timer thing go. Okay. Yeah, so we have a little bit of space. So I'm going to lay this out a little bit differently. We're going to go to treasure room. We should have the position somewhere. Where are those? Maybe treasure chest display. What's the symbol for going to a file? Oh, it's no symbol. Okay. It's not even here. I don't know where it is. I don't know why it's not in treasure room though. Something sets the positions of these. And if I am not mistaken, there's the number 38 in one of them. Huh. I don't remember where that is. Oh, I modified it. I can just look through the modified files then. Yeah, there it is. Treasure room, more treasure chest displays. Oh, that makes sense. Of course, it's in the perk that upgrades this. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to cut out the upper leftmost one and the upper rightmost one, which is that and that. And then I want the top 2 to be given to you, and then the bottom middle, and then the bottom edges. So that's what's happening now. And now the number of displays changes to 246. And that should work. I think 6 will be enough. Let's try this out. Yeah, so you start with the 2 in the middle there. Then when you upgrade this again, I'll zoom out so you can see on the left side. Then when I upgrade this once, we get the 2 at the bottom, and then I get the 2 at the bottom edges. Yeah. And then I kind of want to... I think I want to just move these down like 4 pixels maybe. Yeah, let's do that. The treasure spirit and the bulletin board. We just do down, 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 down. Actually, we can just line it up, right? I want it to go to maybe like that darkened pixel right there. There. No, maybe 1 higher. Okay, let's try that. Because I want there to be enough space for... Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, you're not colliding with these things. We could even move the treasure spirit down a little bit on its own without moving the bulletin board as well. I think that would look better. So maybe like bump this by 2 pixels. Even 1 more is probably fine. Although now there's a lot of breathing room here if you don't have those treasure stands. And then I kind of want to pull in the side of this so it like tapers sooner. Yeah, let's do that. So we have 2 tiles here that I want to cut off. That did not work. All right, so those will be gone. And then taper it 1 more tile on each side above that. And what if I chopped that off too? That looks kind of okay. I don't know. I'm so bad at this stuff. Let's just see how it looks in the game. Also, I could make it so that I can just update this in the game and see it immediately. Yeah, it looks... And actually, it looks okay. I think the problem here is that we're just chopping off the environment. And we need to fix that at some point. But that's not something I want to fix now. We're just making some quick changes now. Yeah, that looks better once you have all the treasure stands. And now once we put treasure chests in them... Yeah, nice. Why are they not opening up with loot? What's going on? Items inside none. What? Treasure chest init. Number of starting items is 3. Add items. Time remaining. What is valid item 0? Is it not being initialized? What's going on right now? Oh, I'm in the wrong thing. And there is a problem. Index out of range. Treasure room 204. Save system can't load. Uh-oh. I'm not sure what's happening there. Let's just try this out again. So if I continue, I'm guessing it's going to fail here because maybe I had too many treasure chests. Valid items 10. It is failing though. All right, let's just start a new save file then. That could be why it broke. Yeah, nice. Now we have items in here. Although that had 20 seconds taken out of it. What? Why do I even have the treasure room right now? What's going on? It's still calling load from save data. I don't think it should be doing that. Let's try this. Let's try this again. Click that and then click here and new game. I'm doing new game, but it's still trying to load. That's not good at all. Why is it trying to load though? Oh, I know what's happening. Okay, I see. I clicked load the first time and it can't load and it thinks it's just stuck loading from then on out. So I should just not start from a dirty state here. I should start from a clean state. There. Now there should be no problem. Yeah, perfect. And now we don't start with the treasure room for some random reason. All right, so let's go get this, and there we go. Treasure room. All right, so now we build we get a treasure chest. Starts at 3 minutes remaining. It has items inside of it. That's all good. We can force them to open. We get our 6 items. Yeah. Cool. And the only other thing we need to do before we can check this in is to look at the save file because I'm guessing it persisted item IDs here too when it saves loot. Yeah, it does. But that's easy to fix. We just go to treasure save data. And in loot, we set this to JSON ignore. And now when we load and save, it's going to delete that line in the file. I'll just search for that. Also, I should make sure it's restoring it correctly. But I'm going to load. I'm going to save. Let's see, what do we have? 2 mushrooms and a witch doctor summoning totem. So now I load. It doesn't work. Uh-oh. Index out of range. I thought this was caused... Wait a sec. What is this doing? 1, 2, 3, 4. We only have 4 of these. Why do we only have 4? What? Maybe how I'm saving this is wrong? Huh, weird. I actually don't know why we have 4 in here to begin with at all. We only had 2 treasure chests, right? I guess we'll just start again. Yeah. I don't know what's going on there. This leads me to believe that it's saving incorrectly. So if I were to just save right now and load, everything should be fine, right? Yeah, everything's fine. Because I don't have the treasure room. But once I get the treasure room, there it is. I have 2 displays. I click save. And now how many? Yeah, we just have 2 here. Oh, maybe right-clicking messes it up? That might be it. Now I hit save, and no, it still only has 2. What? I didn't get a town perk at all, so I could never have increased this. Maybe I did broken saving somehow. Save and load. There's a treasure chest there. Oh, it might not have finished opening. Oh, that's actually a bug then, right? Like you do that and you save and load and you have the treasure chest still. Oh, wow, that's unfortunate. Okay, I'll just write this down. Bug. If you save right after a treasure chest spawned loot but hasn't disappeared, then you can load the file and open the chest again. All right, it's not a super important bug, I guess, because I only just discovered that now. I guess it does let you get infinite loot. So the thing I don't understand is how this thing broke, because it doesn't look like it's breaking now. Can I reload this across saves? It's saving the items correctly now. Yeah, I don't know how we ever got 4 treasure chest displays there. Is it fine? Yeah, it's fine. Weird. What did I do? Well, does it have the same loot? Spear Caller, Mage, Witch Doctor, Paladin. Spear Caller, Mage, Witch Doctor, Paladin. Yeah, it's the same loot. And then if I do upgrade this, should we move this to the right a little bit? Yeah, probably. If I do upgrade this, which I have to get lucky to find these, which is not going to happen apparently. So let's just give ourselves a bunch of money. Oh, but then saving won't work, will it? Well, I guess it still will work, yeah. Hello? Perk that I want. Where are you? There it is, more treasure stands. I already upgraded it once? Oh, I guess I did find it already. So yeah, if I hit save, and now we look for treasure chest data, we should have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, perfect. And now I'm giving this perk again. So I'll go get it again. Now we have 6, and I hit save. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Cool. Okay, let's check all this stuff in. All right, going to be a little bit tough to do this in stages. I think I'm going to just check it all in at once. Yeah. Oh, we don't need this. Looks good. Looks good. Ooh, does not look good. No, I don't want that there. Oh, this stuff's wrong now? Treasure chest? We don't need these, and we don't need this stuff. Key drop quantity increase. We do have some constants later in this file that I should probably extract out. Number of starting items in the chest, for example. Private, constant, num starting items. Yeah, let's do that. Then delete from there. Then we have another constant down there about number of items to add from a skeleton key. Num items to add from skeleton key. I don't know. There, and then put that over here. Private, cons. Perfect. All right, and then this can be num starting items in chest. Num items to add for skeleton key. And then number of items to add from the golden key is always just 1. All right. Okay, let's keep looking at the diff. Looks good. Looks good. Yep. Looks nice. Yep, 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 yep. Yeah. All right, so innate keys is kind of worthless now. Oh, I cannot keep this in here. That's what I was doing to just test. Got to reset the probability of getting a skeleton key. That's fine. That's fine. This is the stuff I deleted that I felt bad about. Yeah, it's all working. Okay, cool. So revamp the treasure system. This is incomplete and leaves some perks in a... What's a word? In an incomplete state, I guess. Plus some perks are left in a... There's a better word for this. I'll just say an uncertain state. Innate keys will probably be deleted since it doesn't do anything anymore. Yeah, so in general, though, what are all the things that we did? It was this stuff. Where'd that go? Here we go. Keys have slightly different times/effects. Treasure is tracked as loot, not mult times quant times item types. What else do we do? Changed timing on chests. Changed cost of keys. Bumps the save version. Changed number of treasure stands. Anything else? Yeah, that's done. Yeah, cool. All right, so next up, this is not super important. If we never did this, it would be okay, but let's just save that as work for later. It's not even difficult work for later. It's just not going to happen now. So next up is this. Auto grant chest via an upgradable perk. Start with level 0. So I'm pretty sure free treasure chests. Yeah, it's an unlocked perk right now. And we don't want it to be unlocked. We want it to just be something you can get by default, because otherwise this is kind of pointless. I would have revamped nothing. And it's not going to be a generated ability either. And it's not going to even exist in story mode. I didn't think about that. Yeah, I don't want to do that conversion right now. This means free treasure chests would go from a generated ability to a regular perk. It wouldn't show up in story mode. So we need to disallow it there, since treasure is supposed to be a money sink there. Jeez, I sure hope this stuff works. Like, I have a vision for how the story mode is going to play out. And right now the demo covers about 2 hours of it, and it's working pretty well. I don't think there's any major lulls. There's always a way to move forward. There are interesting perks. But by the end of the demo, people have way too much gold, and it's because I just never finished the game. But that's where the treasure system is going to come in and be the main gold sink. And then I think you'll be able to upgrade your town hall and get a whole bunch of other perks that show up. And those will cost a ton of money just to give you something to buy. But there are only so many perks we can really add. And thankfully, we've been putting in a bunch due to challenge mode. So every single one of these is only in challenge mode, I think. And not all of them make sense. Like stronger hires probably wouldn't make sense for story mode. This makes your new adventurers start at a higher level, but like it just doesn't make sense in story mode. To make them a higher level by default would cost you next to nothing. So you'd be happy to just level them up yourself. But farm crop value definitely makes sense. Battle perks don't exist. Power leveling probably doesn't make sense. Grant storage probably doesn't make sense. Free guild supplies probably shouldn't be in there. Okay, never mind. I guess fewer of these make sense than I thought. If we just look at which ones would work, this one, this could work, but I don't think it's fun. Marine mana could work. Fish give gold could work. Garbage slime eats from warehouse could work. Yeah, so some of these, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. 7 of them could be added. And that's 7 more things you have to spend money on. The important thing is that the things you're spending money on are interesting. We've gotten a suggestion before that was something like you can buy whatever flowers for your town. And they're just purely cosmetic. And that's not bad. I don't mind that. But some people are going to get to the end of the game and be like, oh, it's just cosmetic stuff, then I'm finished. Whereas if you still have functional stuff, then, and maybe we add in some cosmetic stuff, I don't know. Like, I don't know what it would be. The map already looks kind of nice. But yeah, maybe boss statues or something. You get a little boss alcove here. You put all your statues down. I don't know. Something like that. All right, finding a chest from battle. I think this is neat, but I think this is something we can do as work for later. Or just ideas for later. I'll do this one right now. I think this is pretty easy. Start the treasure room with 1 to 2 chests in it so you don't have to wait for the auto timer. Treasure room. How about we start it with 1 treasure chest? Yeah. Can we just do this? Is that fine? We're about to find out. Oh, wait, that might break something. Hang on a second. No, it should be fine. So we start a new game. We get the treasure room. Oh, the timer shows through the smoke. I don't like that. I guess that's just a z-index problem. Can we fix that somehow? Treasure opening progress. What is your z-index? It's just relative to whatever had it, so I guess the treasure chest. That's weird. It's set to 0. And it's relative to the chest, which is set to 0 as well. What? Why did that show on top of the smoke? I'm gonna take a picture of this. Yeah, like we're just seeing the timer, not the treasure chest. But they're at the exact same level. I don't understand that. Oh, because this is a control? Oh. Drat. Hmm. Well, there are some workarounds that we could do. For example, we could just wait 5 seconds and then give you a treasure chest. And now we give the smoke time to clear. Or we could hide the timer for 5 seconds. Or just fade it in or something. I think holding off until we give you a treasure chest would be fine. Yeah. And maybe we just do that in challenge mode. Town challenge mode functions. Chest. There should be grant free treasure chest. No, it's in treasure pirate challenge. Yeah, here, grant free chest. I I guess we're giving you a bunch of treasure chest displays. It's okay to start you with like 3 of these. Yeah, I think it's fine. In fact, we could even start you with 4 of them. But this needs to be changed a bit. I just don't know how we're going to do that. I guess we don't have to worry about it right now. There's a reset free chest timer if applicable. How does this work? It's only if you've unlocked the free treasure chest ability. What I could do is I could set time until granting free chest to like just 3 seconds. Done. And then when it resets, it'll set it to nothing, right? Yeah. Or well, rather, it won't reset it. All right. And then we just need to write somewhere why we're doing this, which is to stop it from creating it through the smoke. Oh, the money. There we go. Yeah, I guess it could be a little bit sooner than that. Why did it give me 2 of them? Why did it give me 2 of them? Less than or equal 0, grant free chest. Oh, I see. This calls reset timer, which doesn't set it back to the max value. I guess we can just set this equal to, yeah, there, double that max value. This is going to break once we add smoke to challenge mode though, right? No, you won't see it because of the fade in on the screen. Okay, that's kind of funny. We can set that to the auto perk time. I guess there's already 3. I guess it doesn't really matter what we do. Actually, wait a second. No, why do we do this at all? This should just be in challenge mode that we give you the free treasure chest. Okay, then I guess we'll put an if statement there. But I'll still test it in story mode. Yeah, that's good. And now we just do that in challenge mode. If town.gameplay is challenge, do that and that. Because in story mode, you're going to be intrigued enough by what the system is you just unlocked. And we need you to spend money. Although, should we give you one for free in story mode? No, I don't think so. Okay. Oh, and I'll write down why we do this here. Start with a free treasure chest. We delay this so that the smoke has time to clear. Otherwise, the time shows on top of the smoke since it's a control node. Grant free treasure chest with the room. Also, the pirate scenario gives, what, 1 more? 4 total free chests. All right, that's finished. Next, lock the cost of chests to X gold in bone mode. I think it should probably cost 50. How many tabs do I have open? Treasure room. Where's the cost? Buy cost in regular mode. Get buy cost of the treasure chest cost more constraint. Base buy cost is 25. We're going to set the base buy cost to 50 and the cost increase to be 0. And how about we set the base to 50 and the cost increase to be 5? I don't know. Well, let's go try that. So I go into this and I don't have all the scenarios open. Oh, well, the easiest way to do this is to just beat all the scenarios until we get to the pirate scenario. So I'm going to do that. So I don't need to click even more stuff. At this point, it would have been faster to just build things, but there we go. So now the cost should be 50. Oh, we only start with 3. Oh, we're given the last one after 3 seconds? No, what's going on? Oh, is it because of the order that I did this in? No, we set this to 2. So the reset shouldn't matter. Oh, no, grant free chest resets it. Oh. Okay, I'm not going to change this. Technically, the last commit message is wrong, and I just don't care. Anyway, how much does it cost? Should be 50. Yeah, it's 50. And then this should be 50. Good. So they all cost 50. Okay. Lock chest price at 50G. It used to be, what, 25 gold and increase by 3 each time. I don't see a need for it to increase as the challenge goes on. And I think 50 gold is probably a reasonable cost. There's a point in the game where you can easily afford 50 gold, but that you still probably want town perks. So I think this is an interesting enough trade-off. Yeah. Now, what's the final thing that I wanted to do quickly here? Have auto purchasing be available by default. Yeah, where is that? I think I did in the pirate mode one. Where are you? Auto purchase. There you are. All right, so just delete that and just put it into town challenge mode functions. We don't already have it there, right? No, we don't. Okay, so now no matter what, whether or not you're playing the pirate challenge thing, you will be able to auto purchase treasure chests, which I don't expect anyone to care about, but it's there if you want it. So if we pick something like this, and then we get the treasure room, again, is random. So we need to be offered it. There it is. All right, so now instead of clicking, no, that was the one that was given to me for free. Instead of clicking this and clicking buy, we click this and change auto purchasing to turn it on. And now anytime we open chests, it'll just buy more and it'll subtract the money from us. So like I said, I don't think people are going to want this. And actually, this will stop your free treasure chest from working probably. Such that maybe it's a bad idea to have it. I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that. Auto purchase. Okay, well we can just verify it. Should be pretty easy, right? Because it should be happening in process. Yeah. We try to grant a free chest before we try to auto purchase. So if there is space, even though this stuff's happening instantaneously, it'll give you the free one first. So yeah, should be fine. All right, make auto purchase available by default. You can auto purchase chests even outside of the pirate scenario. Free chests will be granted first, so you don't have to worry about auto purchasing every single chest. Where's all the chatter bugging? I don't know what's been going on with chat today. It's been incredibly quiet. Like if I scroll to the top, I can see back 2.5 hours ago. Not very typical. But I've been productive. I think in general that the amount of chat is based on how much energy I have. And I felt kind of low energy today. Skeleseller says, I've been staring from the shadows. Dude says, focus on a bug fix. By the way, Skeleseller, I really like the picture of your cat. How adorable. Do I have any Abby photos to share? Not necessarily, no. Yeah, no. Love the way you respond to it. I'm just such a cat person. All right, so this is done. And then anything else? So this is where we're going to leave it at for now. And what I want to do, I want to test something really fast. I want to go to this and just give you free treasure chest by default. And I want to go change free treasure chest. It's 60 seconds. Yeah, let's leave it at that. And now let's try a run in farming mode, and we'll get the treasure room, and we'll just kind of see how it feels. Again, this is not balanced. We don't have all the perks. But let's do a run. So we're going to go to here. We're going to refund all our points. We're going to get one thing of workers. And that. Okay. Let's get our adventurer. Oh, the archer's already level 2. I wonder what that gave them. Lifesteal, return damage. Ooh, and rapid shot. Well, they should win this battle pretty quickly then, right? 9.9 seconds? It's not that fast. So let's sell some of these things. And I'm building the treasure room. We weren't offered the treasure room. Then I'm building the garbage slime. What is this? 5? Yeah. Buy my stuff. Buy my stuff. Buy garbage slime to buy my stuff. Hello, customers? Would you like to buy something? I have many goods for sale. They don't care. They don't want to buy anything. Well, they bought the armors. Okay, let's level up the archer. Nope, building. Treasure room. Okay, cool. So we get automatic treasure chest, and we got it for the mage. Nice. Now we could start getting some keys. Like, I could put this in here. We have 60% of a key now. I do think this feels better. The key that we get is very likely not going to be very good. But if we were going to get rid of the items anyway, this isn't bad. Another archer level up? Why not? Why not again? Okay, we should get this now and dump these in there. I don't have any of these. I'll hire another adventurer next. Oh, I think these two can handle the volcano. All right, so I want that in there, and I want all of these to go to their corresponding places. Right, I need 5 more gold. And there it is. All right, so Spirit Caller and Paladin. We were offered neither of those. So let's get the Paladin and then the Rogue over here. And throw the Paladin into battle. No, you don't go over there. Another key. Cool. Another archer power up, sure. 3 guild supplies. I'll take the expanded warehouse first, actually. Yeah, we have a couple of keys now. This does feel better. Like, already feels better. And this is the early stages, so hopefully it just keeps getting better from here. All right, we're 6 potions away from another thing. Let's get another adventurer then. Yeah. Oh, now the key storage is full. Wow, we've already like maxed out on that. Huh, interesting. All right, I guess I should put some of these in. Nice. Okay, we need 3 more blue potions. Oops, I just lost those items. My bad. We had space for them too. Yeah, let's get the paladin thing. I still want Another adventurer. We need to sell these things. There's our other adventurer. Not the ones I was hoping for, but let's take that and throw you into there. They can probably beat the next location now. Alright, we got another key. We got another treasure chest already. Wow. I guess just having 2 treasure stands isn't a lot. But still, this is pretty cool. You could just ignore this and you'd still get treasure. It is a power-up. Alright, there's our final worker. Now we can turn this back on. I guess sell one of these over there. Archer. It's gonna obviously take every archer thing at this point. Let's get the warehouse now. Alright, cool. We are cruising right along. Oh, a golden key. Nice. We got 2 archer quivers in there. Very nice. Yeah, and this feels cool. It adds a little bit of activity. I like this. I like this. I think we went in the right direction here. The customer speed. Ooh, we're on farming mode. Getting 28% more. This will go up as time goes on. But I actually just think 28% more now would be pretty nice. Yeah, neat. Okay, let's get this too. Make sure we're selling enough potions. I guess start getting some of these things in there. I guess you do max out your keys pretty quickly. And then you're just getting key after key after key. Mage. I have the mage, right? Yeah, it's right there. Let's get the enchanter now. Alright, we got some guild supplies. We got a bunch of these things. I'll dump these into the weapon grinder. Something still feels a bit weird. Like, I've ramped this up too quickly now. And I don't like that. Like, it's eventually going to be that you just put one item in and you get a whole bunch of stuff out of it. I almost wonder if we should just penalize you for putting in a more expensive item. So, like, a dagger would do it, but you're not going to go fight for daggers anymore. So you end up putting in a cane or something and you just lose the extra value. I'll go for the warrior. Yeah, I should probably hire another adventurer. I should also probably go to another location. Yeah, let's dump those. I'm not even using the enchanter right now. I guess make workers go faster. And send these into the jungle. And get another adventurer. Let's take the spear caller. I know they got a level up at least for their guild. But I don't really have much for them to do. Bump the time they take off. That way you're not overflowing keys as much. I'm not sure yet what I want to do. Because we could make like a key combining thing. Like these two just combine and form the next level key automatically. And that would feel kind of interesting. Like 2 iron keys form a red key. 2 red keys form a teal key. Yeah. Let's say observation after trying this. I get keys too quickly. Wonder if keys should auto combine to the next tier. That way you have a reason for getting better ones. We probably need keys to be dynamic if we do that. Alright, let's dump these in there. Get rid of some of these things. Dump the rest of those. Get our treasure chest. Yeah. I should probably get some town perks now. Let's do it. Town perk. Crops grow faster while stocking frenzy's active. Okay, let's do that. And let's dump these in here. And then do stocking frenzy and then watch them grow. I have no overflow seeds. Archer. Yes. There's our last boot. Okay. Sure, let's take it. Power leveling. Power leveling would give the spirit caller more. I don't really want that. I might as well do this if I'm already going to be casting stocking revenue. Special keys. Yeah. Selective loot isn't needed anymore. I gotta get rid of that. Stronger hires. I don't really care. Yeah, I don't care. Impulse buying is pretty nice. More mana is pretty nice. Okay, so let's harvest all this again. And then dump more potions in. And then cast this. I don't have enough mana. Alright, so we dump in a couple crossbows. We get all of the keys. Yeah. What do I need? I guess I could do this. I'm not really sure that's the best idea. Now let's make crops grow super fast. Which is also going to make workers dart around. Employee discount. Well water. Make them grow even faster. Sure. Those are some quick growing crops. Alright, give me some archer upgrades. Ah, there we go. Ooh, that's pretty good. Actually, all these are really good. I'll take storage. I'll take the warehouse. Okay, we're actually low on loot. Wow. A golden key. They're winning, they're just taking a long time. I guess I could send the spirit caller into battle. But yeah, I should probably be hiring more adventurers. Sure, let's get that. And let's send you into here. Might as well get something. Expand a warehouse again. I'd like free guild supplies. Can I afford this? No. Will I be able to before the battle's over? Probably not. It's so close. Yeah, I was 6 mana off. Oh well. Alright, I should stock some of the shops for this. More town perks. Special keys, let's do it. More treasure stands, definitely. I like having to go up here and open these. I think that's good. I think that's just the right amount of interaction for that system. Having to open treasure chests. So I can get all the keys again. Start dumping these in. In fact, I could just put these up here and make the workers do the rest. Neat. We only get a chest every minute. I guess I should build that. Yeah. Sure. And also sure. They're winning in 19 seconds. I think loot magnet would be good. What are my workers mostly doing? Are they bringing keys in? I think that's a decent amount of what's happening. I don't need these. Oh my god, 2 golden keys. That's pretty nice. Yeah. Okay, special keys. Let's go for it. I don't have the money to afford treasure chests on my own. I guess 50 gold does kind of feel like a lot. And normally you'd have had to upgrade it with your perks. But we don't have that in the game yet. Alright, we have plenty of space. Yeah. Alright, a golden key. So let's buy a couple of treasure chests. There. And just turn this off. And then get these in there. Alright, so we got 330 in the opening. Turn on loot magnet. And you know what? Let's also turn on worker speed. I can't afford it. Got so many golden keys. Alright. Dump them all in. Just keep getting more. Yeah, let's turn this off. Let's also hire another adventurer. Oh, space for that stuff. Now we're getting some space. Oh, we got rid of all the small blue potions that way. Or most of them. Huh, nice. Yeah, so now I'm limited on treasure chests. I could just keep buying more. I'm not going to do that. I think we have enough treasure. I think we actually have enough power to go into the deep forest too. Instant harvest is really nice. I need more mana now. Definitely cloning. Probably hire a new adventurer just for that. Alright, let's go try it. Can you make it? Oh, we have some treasure chests that we can open. Guys, that key helps like yours. Nice. Did you get all this stuff already? Don't recall. Oh yeah, they're destroying this. The archer's just going nuts. And now I actually do feel limited on workers. I'm gonna hire more adventurers, I think. It's hard to say if this paid off, all the stuff I was doing with treasure. Because I think we're doing this a little bit slower than normal. But I don't know. Also, I'm not even touching the fishing pond. Let's go do that quickly. And then we'll cast faux potions. Yeah. Alright, so just dump all these in there. You got it all? Yeah? Are you liking it? Alright, so if I cast this, it's going to also harvest all of the crops. I don't need any of those. But they're not ready yet. I want them to be ready. What are those new icons? Yeah, don't they look great? These are new battle portraits. And how's it going, Sarah? Let's do that. Okay, so let's take these out of here. I want to see if they can go beat the final area. I don't know if they'll be able to. Let's grind up another couple of these. Oh yeah, lots of golden keys. Now I have a ton of money for this stuff. More treasure stands. I don't even think that's going to help. Yeah, show the potion shop. Loot magnet. Tropic magic. That wasn't as much as I thought. Town perks cost 120 now. I guess we can start spending our money on treasure chests. Oh, it's not really going to help us. Yeah, let's turn it on anyway. There, so now my money will automatically go toward that. They're not winning? If the archer can survive... Oh, I don't think they can. Oh, they're so close. They're so close. Maybe one more perk will do it. How much damage do they mitigate now? 9%. I don't know if it's going to do it, but it took them 40 seconds to lose. I am going to speed this up because this is not the point of this. Can they win? Yes, they can now. Wow. One level did it. Alright, and there's all the loot. We'll just ditch this off to the side now. Alright, that'll give us how many overflow keys? 3? Pretty good. Take a fair amount of attention now thanks to the frequency of keys. Yeah, and attention from workers too. Which is kind of interesting. Because my workers have plenty to do already. In fact, I don't even know how they prioritize this. I guess they do occasionally go over there. Alright, so now crops will grow faster. Yeah, they're opening these. I guess let's put another one of these in there. Nice. I'd like them to win this battle now. I think they're going to lose. Oh, they lost. They're not supposed to lose. My perfect adventurers. Wow. I guess I'm losing all my money thanks to auto purchasing. I should probably turn that off. Oh, hey, we can get some power-ups for the adventurers that are in battle right now by doing this. I haven't been fishing at all on this. Oh, that was only wave 2. But I think they're going to win. The last time the mage survived into this round, they won. The mage is basically a tank for the archer. Yeah. Dodge 9 times in a row. Yeah. Double the loot. Another level for the archer. Free guild supplies. That's really good. All right, let's fill this up. Let's also probably send someone into battle the fish. We should probably hire another adventurer. I'll do that in a sec. We need to sell some stuff for that. What's the gold medal time? 20 minutes? Yeah, we didn't make it. Which does make me wonder about the treasure room, but I've kind of had my attention split in a lot of ways. Oh, a skeleton key. Nice. That feels really good. All right, so now we have all of the loot in the game. Yeah, all of it. I wanted some adventurers just to act as workers here, and then eventually to go fishing for me. But let's turn this on if we can. We can't, because we don't have the mana. Maybe a town perk will give us the mana. Swift Shoot is really good. There. Oh, wait, no. No. Go in there. Yeah, we gotta grow our crops. We're losing out on value here. Yeah, it does feel better. And there is something else to focus on. I think I like this. I know this took like 8 hours to come to the conclusion that we just need to change some numbers a little bit. But yeah, I think some further tweaks will be needed. How much did this end up boosting everyone by? They're all like level 4 or 5. Yeah, what this encourages is for you to get more adventurers, because they're all going to be stronger. Like the golem is level 6 in terms of guild supplies. And if I had enough money here, which I will soon, I guess, but I'll also win. Yeah, anyway, let's just cheat at this point. So if I had enough money and I hired another adventurer, Mushy is level 6. They should all pretty much be the same. Cleric is level 5. Yeah. So because of how guild supplies are given out, everyone's in the level range of 4 to 7. So it's another reason to get breadth over depth here. Need to look into the updates this week. Oh, got a bit attached to the old ones, but the new ones look very professional. Yeah, the old ones were just the graphics that show in the overworld. So I guess you can still see those, but yeah, I do like these new ones. So Matt, the thing we've been working on lately has been revamping the treasure system. So I'll show some of the quick changes here. One is when you buy a chest, it's always 50 gold now. It doesn't go up. 2 is that chests start with 3 minutes remaining. And then the keys that you get are trimmed down to either just subtract 20 seconds, subtract 60 seconds, but give another item in the chest, or the skeleton key, which is immediately open the chest and add 5 items to it. So at most now, I think you can have, 5 plus 2 plus 3, so 10. You can have 10 items in a treasure chest. But there's no more of the, like, put a red key in, put a green key in. So there's less for you to manage manually. But skeletons have a lot of, like, moving around to do. Which I should probably just move the weapon grinder up here. I think that would make it a lot better. I think I'm going to write that down. Move the weapon grinder to the... so that it's near the treasure room. Cost of keys unchanged? No, cost of keys cut into 1/5 of what it used to be. So if I put in 1 fire sword, which I can't even, hang on a second, let me do that. I need to clear this out. Okay, yeah. So right now it says progress toward next key 0. I put in a fire sword. It gives me 7 keys. So yeah, keys are not really as much of a bottleneck. You can now get this pretty early on and still have it give you some value. The end result, by the way, is that your adventurers are all going to level up with guild supplies a little bit more evenly, because there's no way to force a certain kind of loot out of this. And maybe we need to make the effects a little bit more powerful as a result of that. I'm not sure. But yeah, so there's some balancing we need to do. But I'll continue working on this tomorrow, I think. That's the balancing of this. Like, every adventurer is getting a bit stronger. So maybe we need to require fewer items. We cap out at level 3 rather than level 5. No, that doesn't make any sense. or give more power and health per level. Yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to work. But yeah, we're going to change some of the perks up and get this into better shape. This is the kind of thing I think we can launch by the end of Friday. Unfortunately, it's going to delete everyone's save file again. But gotta be some sacrifices. And that'll be the main thing for this Friday. And then I would really, really like to just like churn through some of this list, so that it's not 37 pages of stuff here. But we probably still need a little bit more content too. But yeah, I think that's it for the stream for today. I'm gonna go get some lunch and let's find someone to raid. Let's raid Pheromond. Yeah. Curious about investment into the treasure room still? Noting that you were mostly focused on testing the treasure room, but you were still behind the timer a decent amount, and I've noticed that in my runs too. Yeah, I almost wonder, like, one of the problems was that shops weren't really stocked. Like, the treasure room is really good if you have tons of workers, because then it's not really a cost. And I think maybe I'll just write that down in my observations here. With the keys so far from the treasure room, it takes a lot of workers to run the treasure room. Also, if we put the, well, I should write this down over here, right? If we do this and you have workers waiting with weapons at the shop, they'll have to walk all the way to the weapon grinder. I wonder if there's a town position that'll make this work a little bit better. Let me just look at the town right now. Because weapons are sold here and the weapon grinder is here. So if a worker was going to come with a weapon anywhere, it's going to be either of these two places. But then this is so far from the treasure room that I almost wonder if this should just spit keys into, like, maybe we put the storage for the keys over here. Like there's a pipe from the the weapon grinder. Yeah, maybe that's the best way to do it. Maybe the grinder should be near the shop, but the storage should be connected via a pipe to something aesthetic near the treasure room. Okay, anyway, like I said, we're going to raid Pheromond, so let me kick that off. I know I sound kind of probably mechanical at the end of a stream and thanking people for being here, but truly, like, you could be watching anybody, you could have anyone as background noise. I appreciate that you're all here. I'm still very happy to be working on the game and everything. So I'm excited. Tomorrow should be a full day of streaming, but that's it for today. Cheers, everybody, and see you later.